And we are live here at Atlanta Motorsports Park in beautiful Dawsonville, Georgia. I am Will Rigdon alongside my co-host Stephen Newbold. Up here in the booth, we've got Chris Conowall with us down in Victory Lane. And we are excited here for another week of racing. We've got round 5 of the AMP Summer Championship Series. And, well, Steve, it's not been too long since me and you have been in the booth. We just got back from the autocross event. And, well, we're here today. What's going on with you, man?
Well, it's going to be a busy day. I've got 2 races to cover, this one and one at North Georgia Speedway.
Oh, nice.
That is if the weather holds off. But currently you're watching qualifying. It's a little unusual for us to be here this a little early.
Usually we don't get online at this exact moment, but because we're just running Downforce today and we don't have any Spec Miata Spec E30s on the grid, we've expanded the program for the Downforce cars so that way we can do a standalone qualifying session for both SR1 and SR3. So what you are looking at on track right now is the SR1 Radical class. And it looks like we have got 10 drivers out there right now. This is actually, I believe this is officially the largest SR1 field we have ever had to date here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. So going to be quite an exciting race. I know the drivers are excited. We had that shortened race last month, so they weren't quite able to get 2 full races in. I think we got about 3 or 4 laps hot before things got really hot there on the backside of the track.
Oh, boy, it did get really hot.
And we're just going to keep it at that for right now. But definitely an exciting race day that we had last month. And so with the format this month, it's still going to be 2 20-minute sprint races. But what we're going to do is rather than putting everybody together for one big qualifying session, we've separated out the SR1s and the SR3s. We also gave them a 25-minute practice session to themselves, which also probably helped because one of the things you will notice about the track, since the last time we were out here, we had the big 4th of July drift event. So there's going to be a lot more rubber, a lot the grip of the track, the profile of the track is going to be a lot different today. They got a lot of the material from those drift cars that was left on the track. And after the drift event, we actually go cold for a week every year to do our yearly maintenance and repairs on the track. So some of the projects that might take a couple days to do, we shut down for an entire week to do it. And you'll notice there's a couple of fresh concrete patches out there on track, most notably the one in turn 6.
I was looking at that on the screen.
So maybe we can get maybe we can get the drone to zoom in right there. You can kind of see that smooth part there at the entrance of turn 6. And so that is a new patch of concrete that was laid down. And so that is going to be an interesting dynamic today. We think, we've talked to some of the drivers out there, there's a lot of rubber that's been put down on that patch since we poured it. So it should hopefully have some good grip, but that is square in the braking zone. So the muscle memory of these guys is definitely going to change a little bit today as they hit that new patch on track.
So that's actually kind of interesting because that's going to play into tire wear, which I'm not sure if those guys really factor in tire wear with it being kind of I think there's only a couple that are non-rentals that are out there.
I think as long as they're not straddling it and they keep those cars straight, it should be hopefully easy enough for these guys to adjust. But
I mean, shifting from asphalt to concrete, that's gonna wear the tire a little bit more. I mean, prime example is at Martinsville at the short track. I mean, you got to think in the corners it's concrete and the rest of that track is asphalt, and their tire wear and their tire fall off is so fast, especially on a short track package at that track. But with this being a road course, that's going to be a little bit more, how do we put that, difficult to handle?
Well, it'll definitely be different from what the drivers are used to seeing out there. I don't think the track surface is any worse. Honestly, it's probably better than how it was. That's why the repair was made. And, it looks good out there. And, it's something to change up for the drivers. Another big rule change we made this season was the exit there at turn 6. We're allowing them to use the entire track. In the past, you had to keep 2 wheels on the racing surface. Now it's all fair game. So if you went 4 off over the rumble strip, it was a penalty. Now you can use that entire area. So they will be able to work the cars. Typical line is you want to brake pretty late coming into that turn, and there's still a good bit of asphalt before the actual turn-in point. So I think it's just going to be a matter of them getting adjusted to where that initial brake point is, how much force to give it. And hopefully, they had the 25 minutes during the practice session to figure it out, and now we're underway with qualifying. And before we get through this session, let's go ahead and look at some of these results right now.
So we're looking at our first practice. Actually had Greg Folger in the 29 car, Folger Gas. He led practice with a 1:19.804, so he was definitely moving. He had a 3-second overall gap on the next one in line, which is Evan Lowry that was in the number 97 in the SR1 Radical, and his time for practice was a 1:23.226, so there was a 3.422 difference within the SR3 and the SR1. That just tells you the little bit of the difference in horsepower packages that those two cars have.
And right now, your two favorites, Evan Lowry and Blakely Fabiani, are 1-2 in qualifying. Lowry with a 1:22.908 right now is his fastest. Fabiani with a 1:23.302. And then just behind him, newcomer Jose Avelas. He just started racing with us this season, and he is doing real good right now with a 1:23.465. I know Fabiani's been with us in Miatas for a couple seasons, and now this is his first season in Downforce. I know he's done, but all these drivers have done the Radical School. I know Fabiani's done the Advanced School. I'm pretty sure Jose has as well. So they are all, in terms of training, they are all on pretty equal footing. I'm pretty sure Fabiani's got a little bit more seat time. And then Lowry as well. He came in strong midway through last season out of nowhere, just started dominating. And so this being his first full season competing with us, looking to see good things out of him. But right now we're a minute and a half left to go in this 15-minute session, so these drivers are probably going to get one more lap in, and then that'll do it.
It's what, 3,000ths of us, or 300ths of a second off for Blake Fabiani?
Between.
Am I looking at that
right? Yes, it's almost 4/10 of a second.
Okay.
And then the gap between him and Jose is about 1/10, or about 1.5 tenths.
There we go.
That'd be 15/100ths. I don't know who's the math guy.
I don't do math. Maybe
151 thousandths.
I can fix things. I don't math things.
And just behind him in fourth place, Gavin Potet, a newcomer. I'm not sure if he's new to racing. I'll need to see if I can catch him at the break, but new to our series. He's doing pretty good. Just behind Jose Avelas right now. He's got a 1:23.553. So second, third, and fourth place, less than 0.2 of a second between the three of them, and then another half second up to Evan Lowry. So should be pretty tight competition here at the field. The race start's really good. What's going to be key for these guys?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Because they're not going to have a clean track on the race start. All these guys are going to be starting, well, hopefully they'll start ahead of the SR3s. I have a feeling the SR3s are going to be at least 3 out of the 4 will probably be ahead of them during the race start. Because those guys are all in the 121s, 122s. Folger with the 119. So, I expect to see
it's going
at least 3 or 4 SR3s are going to start in front of this SR1 field. So they're going to have traffic from the get-go to be fighting off. And so that's going to make the race start real interesting, and that's probably going to be when Blakely and Jose have their best chance of making a move, getting in front of Evan, because if Evan gets clean track and is not getting pushed, he's going to go off for a Sunday drive.
Oh, yes, definitely. And, going on the Sunday drive here is ideal, which you can do that.
Yeah, because we're a membership club.
That is right.
So if you are watching and you are interested in a track membership, definitely come see us and take the tour. Sean Hayes, our membership director, he is actually upstairs wearing his other hat, which is race director today.
Did you like that segue, Will?
Yes.
It was really nice. Checker flag is out with Evan Lowry currently sitting on top of the board.
Speaking of segues.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one-wheel Segway racing?
Yes. Yes, I have. And we need that on the track.
I want that at Kart Track. You imagine how much fun that would be?
Jelly Bean?
The whole thing.
The whole thing? Oh, yeah.
Maybe Super B.
Super B? Okay.
Actually, I don't know. It'd be kind of calamity coming down turn 2, but.
Oh, no, that's what we like. That's prime content right there.
Or we line them up at main track and run counter down 12, down the big Smokers Hill.
Ooh.
That would be fun, too. Anyways.
Yeah, back to our day
Segueing back to racing.
Again, the checker flag is out on practice. Evan Lowry currently holding the best time of a 1:22.908. And right behind him, Blakely Fabiani in the 85 car with a 1:23.302. So that's about exactly where he was last go around.
And I believe we actually have some driver interviews lined up and ready to go. And the one driver we got from the SR1 field, Jose Avelas, I believe we got him queued up down there. If producer Michael Lane can see that, and we can go ahead and roll that while we wait for the SR3s to get on track. And introduce you guys to Jose. He gave us one of the better interviews, so it's probably good to start off with him. And so I think we are ready to go.
And I was always surrounded with people that loved cars and loved the precision driving. So that was something for me since I was a little kid that it was within me. It was a passion. It was an obsession. It was love. It was love in the first sight. I'm a big fan of Ayrton Senna, and I like Alonso as well. Out of that, Capello was really good on the Audi era. I could be mentioning a few names because F1, I've been an F1 fan for years, since I was a little kid. I think it's a gentleman drive. It's more challenging. It requires, I guess it requires a lot of more physical interaction. But I guess the primary reason is because I like the gentleman drive. I like to see drivers fight to the limit but not touch each other. My favorite memory racing at AMP, April, my first podium. I was in third place, and unfortunately there was a bit accident, so I inherited second place. But being in third place throughout the whole race and seeing second place, and I could see first place, that actually gave me a really big motivation on just keeping my composure and taking the drive and just bringing home and protecting my third place that at the end ended up being a second place. A nickname of drivers, I don't know, maybe the Wolf. I'm kind of like a lone wolf, but maybe the Wolf.
And one of the questions we always try to have a little fun when we do these driver interviews, and I always try to ask a couple questions to get some personality out of these guys. And the one we asked them this week was, if your fellow drivers could give you a nickname, what would it be?
So am I giving you a nickname, Will?
So I'll ask you that, Steve. What would your nickname be?
Oh, God. For the longest time back at Kart Track, my speed racer name was Mike Huncho. There's an inside joke to that, but
I thought you were going to say your name was Oh God, because that's what everybody says when they come. Oh God, he's out here again.
No, there's a specific gentleman I think of every time I think of Kart Track that is Oh God. Oh geez, I don't even want to think about that. You want to talk about PTSD from being a corner marshal out there when that guy was on track?
It wasn't a random 12-year-old during public karting, was it? Because those are the ones that have no fear.
I don't want to say. For legality reasons, I don't know if I could talk about that. But let's just say that it was one of the wildest wrecks I have ever seen in a concession cart. There's a reason a tree is bent over.
And we do want to remind you our concession carts are perfectly safe.
Yes, they are.
Have rollover bars and the big 13-horsepower Honda engine, so they are a lot of fun to drive. Steve was back here during the Wild West time when we first opened up way back in the day. Guy's been close to a decade now since you were back at Kart Track.
Dear Lord. That makes you sit there and scratch your head going, wow, that was a long time ago. Wow, that was a long time ago. Man, I'm getting old, Will.
Yeah, we're both getting old, Steve.
Well, first two laps are in the books. We got Chris Hune in the 53 SR3 Radical leading the field with a 122.649. So he is definitely moving over David Mason, which is a name that's pretty familiar out here, sponsored by the Onward Physical Therapy SR3 Radical. He's running a 124.908, so what is that? Roughly 2.25 seconds behind at the moment.
Yeah, and these guys are just coming into heat right now, so they're getting these tires going. And I believe we actually have an interview from David Mason as well. I don't know, it'd be a good segue to cue him up. I told the guys we were going to play these today because normally at Kart Track when we do these, we're going bang, 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 race, race, race. We have a hard time getting through these interviews, but nice thing we got these qualifying sessions. And we really want you guys to meet these drivers and get to put a face with the name. You know, we talk about these guys every single week, and, you know, they're real people just like you and me. And so, you know, we did these interviews to hope just, you know, add a little personality to the show.
I'm David Mason. I'm from Lebanon, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, and I am 60 years old. I've been racing for about 3 years. I've always wanted to do it and never had the time or the resources, and finally got the opportunity to race and came up here and gave it a shot. Favorite driver going back in time is probably Dale Earnhardt. just an awesome character, you know, and loved watching him race and compete. Well, I like F1 because it's road racing, but you don't get to see it as much, and NASCAR is just all American, so I love them both. Favorite memory is probably my first win, which is earlier this year. Worked really hard and finally got a win. It felt really, really good.
If fellow drivers were to give you a nickname, what would it be?
That's a good one. I have no idea.
And we definitely put him on the spot with that question. Another question we were asking him was F1 or NASCAR, and why? And who's your favorite driver?
Oh, gosh.
And that's how we can always tell who the real degenerates are out here, all his NASCAR fans
Hey,
out
look,
here at the race car
now,
track.
I'm not that degenerate.
You only go to how many short track races a year?
A lot. I just happened to announce at a short track and a dirt track
And a road track.
and a road track
And
and a kart track.
You announce at just about every track here in the state of Georgia, Steve. So it's always a pleasure
I know
when
it is.
when you give us your time so willingly here at Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Yeah, it's a little different. I prefer, honestly, the road course racing is a little bit harder to cover for me because, you know, it's not, oh, my God, they're taking a left turn or they're in a straightaway.
Yeah,
And they're taking another left turn.
It's harder to remember more than 4 turns.
Well, like, actually, I'm glad we have a track map over here because I've been here, you know, since the beginning, basically. I still don't know how many turns are on this track. I stayed at kart track 99% of the time, so when I come up here, it's a little different. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's
we
turn
have
6. That's turn
one less turn up here at the main track than we do back at kart track.
Oh, okay, that's easy to remember.
But we've got over double the course length. So,
Yes, that's true.
So definitely, and double the course width as well. As you can see, a lot of room for those radicals to work out on track. Would be actually kind of interesting to see those guys on kart track. I don't know if they could handle the elevation change.
A radical on kart track.
But we did get Adam LZ out there last year at the 4th of July, and he drifted the entire kart track, and that was cool.
That's awesome.
I mean, he was skipping over turn 4 at kart track. It was insane.
You know, it's kind of amazing. You really don't see a lot of rubber marks. I mean, you see them, but not as many as you would think. I mean, with this only being, what, a month out from the 4th of July event?
Yeah, and you'd be surprised, like, a week after the event, this track was, I mean, it looked like it had been resurfaced. And so we've had enough track events and member time to come out here and put some better tire compound down into the asphalt. And so it's gotten a little bit better, but one of the biggest things the drivers don't like, and this is why we don't run a race in July immediately after the event, is because those drift tires are a different compound, and they make the track greasy when they get in there. And so it takes time for it to wear out. But when you immediately go from drift tire to race tire, you've got the two compounds on top of each other. And even though when it's sitting on top of a chunk of rubber or rubber that's been laid into the track from a drift car, you're basically at whatever that grip level of that rubber is that's on track. And they don't always mix well. And it can change things up for these drivers, and especially with cars that are as fine-tuned as these radicals and as twitchy and as just precision vehicles. Any kind of little change like that, it messes with your line. It messes with how you turn. You know, you're used to the brake pedal feeling a certain way when you're going into a braking zone, and when that compound is different and when the track surface is a little bit different, it can mess with them. And especially during these summer months when it's real hot, the track's real greasy, it's a thing to be considered. And so they always like to have a lot of member time to help get the track scrubbed back in right. And that's pretty much where we're at today. And honestly, these guys aren't looking that far off. Look at that. All our top 3 are, just like I said, they're all faster than the SR1 field. Pete doing a good job there trying to – I wonder if he's having issues or not.
Yeah, it looks like he's a little behind. He's about 4.5 seconds behind.
Although that time on your screen's not reflecting correctly. That's kind of interesting why it's showing up that way.
Yeah,
I'm seeing his fast time of a 1:25.
1:46.
1:46. Oh, it's just showing last lap. That's what it's showing on there.
We're getting the prime view with our membership of
Yes, so if you want to follow along at home, you whip out your computer or your iPad or whatever mobile device you have, racemonitor.com. That's what we're following along with. It is free if you are on an iPhone. I believe it's free on iPhone.
Yes, it's free unless you do the Prime membership.
Yeah, and then you can pay for
the individuals timing and scoring and laps and breakdowns and all that fun stuff. But speaking of the track like we were just a second ago, so just did a little bit of mathing. So at 81 degrees is the current air temperature right now. The current track condition temperature-wise, is sitting anywhere between 130 and 147 degrees.
Ooh.
So that track is hot, really hot.
Yeah, and speaking of hot, our camera guy Christopher out there,
Whoa,
he is
now.
the one. He is the one really in the elements right now. Big Bear Christopher out there at turn 4. Big shout out to him. He's the one. He's really the glue keeping this thing together. That's we always draw straws at the start of the broadcast.
Who's going out there today? Well, it's not me and you. So
No, well we are staying inside.
we are inside princesses. There we go.
Yeah. What's up? Always trying to throw a little love out to the guys that behind the scenes making this show happen. So we appreciate each and every one. We've already talked about Mikey Lemon Drop Lane here a little bit. Got Chris up here in the booth. Oh, so we got Colby up on tower cam right now. He is holding the fort down, and of course we've got Davey here just walked past us. Yeah, you're not on camera. You don't have to wave.
So
He's in charge of our interview cam.
if Mikey is lemon drop, what's that McDavie?
Ooh, I don't know. Davey's probably non-alcoholic. He's probably just diet lemonade. I don't know. So he's yeah.
He's just lemonade.
He's Davey Lemonade Lane. Minute Maid Lane.
This is not a plug for Minute Maid.
I wish y'all could hear that. So that's actually Mikey's younger brother, our producer's younger brother, on the interview cam today. So happy to have him. This is his second time out on the production here today. Really a family operation we got going on here. So it's probably why we got that good mom and pop vibe going, me and you, Steve.
Yeah, I know. I consider you a brother.
I'm Pop and you're your mom, right? Up in the, or is it the
Oh.
other way? My mom? Is that?
I don't know. I think we're more like brothers. Like you know the movie Step Brothers.
I was gonna
Like
say Chuck and-
100%, we could recreate that movie out here.
I will take Step Brothers over Chuck and Larry.
Yeah. I second that.
So, anyways, enough with
Innuendos.
Well, I did just watch Deadpool 3, so.
Oh, you know,
It's hard.
we talked about going and watching the Friday night premiere. We did not go, and I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I took the wife out to see it. We were in Milledgeville last weekend. And,
You in Milledgeville.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me tell you, the theater, $7.50. It was
Oh, my
cheaper.
Lord.
It was cheaper to drive from Buford to Milledgeville,
To watch
buy
the
2
movie.
tickets,
Including
and then drive-
gas.
Yeah, including gas, and then drive home than it would have been to just go to the Mall of Georgia and seen it like normal people.
Dear God, you went to the Mall of Georgia, you would have spent like $50.
I had not been to a movie since COVID. We just started going, I think, middle of last year. We started going again. I think it was Fast and the Furious brought us back out, and it was dang near $50 to go to the movie.
Dear Lord.
And that's ridiculous. We were tickets, popcorn, and a slushie for like $35.
Okay, so let me break down something for
at
you.
Milledgeville.
So AMC theaters, right? So me and my wife, we broke down the cost of going to see the new Deadpool movie at the AMC theaters with my grandparents. Okay, my grandparents grew up in like the 50s and the 60s. So when I was talking to them about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, we used to go watch a movie for like 17 cents for a ticket and like maybe $1 for popcorn and a drink." So it was like $1.17 to go see a full movie with popcorn and a drink, right? So we started breaking it down at an AMC theater with the annual bucket, the popcorn bucket, 1 large Coke, and 2 tickets was $73 and some change.
I will just go outside and play. Thank you.
Yeah, I much
I
rather.
will go dig a pile of dirt.
Mikey, the Dune bucket. No, but have you seen the Deadpool bucket? It's literally Wolverine's mouth wide open. It's worse than the Dune bucket.
But we had a good time. I enjoyed the movie, so and it's fun always getting to go out and we actually, one of the things we do here at the club as part of membership that you get when you sign up here at Atlanta Motorsports Park is we will go do movie premieres. We'll rent out theaters and take our members and go do premieres like Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember that
Racing
one.
in the Rain. The one that just came out, was it earlier this year or last year? I forget the one with the crazy crash at the end.
There was one Grand.
The one about Ferrari, cheating on his wife and everything. I don't know if you remember.
Oh God, I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that one. I think it was back in January. That was Oh, I'm being told by producer it was actually called Ferrari. So we were dancing all around that title of that movie.
Man, if it was a snake, it would have killed us.
Yeah. By Michael's favorite director, Michael Mann.
I would have thought Michael Bay, but
There wasn't enough explosions.
oh.
And speaking of exploding, our times right now on track are off the grid. Look at this. Greg Folger with a 119.781, just barely edging out Chris Hune right now. And we are about a minute to go in this session. So Chris is going to have to leave it all out in the line, although I don't think he really knows because he's not getting,
Yeah, there's no radio
no
communication.
one's in his ear telling him what his times are like.
I'm surprised we don't have
But
that.
I'm just going to will this out there. Chris, do it. You got it.
Send it.
Lick that stamp. He is at a .032 right now behind Greg Folger, so they are practically running the same lap times. And just behind by about a second is David Mason. He's running a 120.840. And we saw David earlier, but we also got an interview out of Greg. So I wonder if we can go ahead and pull that one up. He was actually just like he is on track, he was our quickest interview as well.
I think it was the first one, too.
So, yeah, he got in there. He ripped it. It was actually kind of fun editing his footage together because I think his raw footage was less than a minute, so there wasn't much to even chop out. He's definitely a pro at getting things done on time.
My name is Greg Folger. I'm 32 years old, and I'm from Hiwassee, Georgia. I've been racing for about 3 years now. Grew up racing dirt bikes, never did anything motorsport related, but got an opportunity during COVID, and the bug hit quick.
Favorite driver?
Currently, probably Fernando Alonso.
F1 or NASCAR? And
F1. I'll have to piggyback off David. I would have to say my favorite memory is probably my first win.
if your fellow drivers were to give you a nickname, what would it be?
That one I still don't have a good answer for, so I'd say you have to ask them.
All right, thank you.
No, thank you. I didn't answer any of the
Always fun getting to see those guys in there. And our SR3 field has pulled off track, so that was the final lap, what we saw last time by, so they got the checkered. So those times are not going to change at all. So Greg Folger will be your overall race leader. So he had a 119.781, Chris Hune with a 119.813, and David Mason with a 120.840. All three of those times quicker than the SR1 field, so we should look to see those three drivers at the front of the pack when we go green here at 11:30.
Does that mean it's lunch?
So
Or are we just going to sit up here and have podcast hour?
we're just going to be podcast hour.
Oh,
lunch
boy.
Lunch isn't until 1 o'clock, Steve. I hope you had a good breakfast.
I didn't eat. I woke
Oh,
up late.
dang.
I woke up late. Good.
That is why you weren't trying to make eye contact with me when you showed up today.
Yep. I'm tired.
I thought it was just me.
No, I tried something different last night with coffee, and I was rather impressed.
Wait, you were drinking coffee last night?
I was drinking coffee, but there's a twist to it.
Caffeine free?
No. Better.
Alcoholic?
Yes. So
Steve, come on.
okay,
You know
all right.
alcoholic coffee is a before lunch kind of thing.
it's a before you go into work. No, I'm
even
just
though
kidding.
even though 10 o'clock at night is technically before lunch the next day, you still got to get up in the morning, Steve.
Yeah, but I mean, so
Although I guess it's not hard to get up if you never go to sleep.
So as my German heritage, when we were in Germany recently, I tried something that I'd never had before, and that was espresso with Jaeger. So you do a full shot of espresso and a
Is this
full
just
shot
like
of Jaeger.
Four Locos for old people?
Yes. So that's what I did. I made
man.
espresso with German espresso that we special ordered with a shot of frozen Jaeger. And it was amazing. I was rather impressed with the way it tastes.
I was going to ask if you came from the members lounge because we have espresso and we've got.
Well, you want to try one? Since it's already here, I mean, we might as well.
I'm on the clock right now, and I'm sure my boss is probably watching, so we need to keep it
Okay, let's not
keep
do
it
that.
keep it light and refreshing
Like
and
a
not-
like a coffee with
and non-alcoholic, Steve.
like a coffee. But I mean, that was actually really good. A really good espresso.
But this is a good segue for us because say you were doing a little bit of drinking last night,
Yeah.
and you do come to the track. We've actually got our new business, Caffeine Octane. That's where we're going to be tomorrow. Octane and Wellness. We've got our new IV therapy coming online here, and if you've never had an IV after a long night of drinking, you are missing something, Steve. Let me tell you. Not to encourage the long night of drinking, but if you have those regrets when you wake up in the morning and you got important things to do, definitely come by and get you an IV bag. we're actually looking at the chairs right now. I might change my chair out because those things look pretty comfy. But we've got the IV bags. They've got a hangover bag. They've got ones purely if you're just dehydrated, you get a bag of fluids. Get some saline in you, and then they'll add all the vitamins to them, B12, all the stuff that'll help you not cramp up and not be so cranky with a hangover.
There's actually one of these places close to my house, and I've always wanted to try it. I might actually do that probably next race if it gets a little too hot and I'm out there baking in the sun.
There have been weeks here where I have definitely taken advantage of this, where we've been out setting up for autocross. It's been 100+ degrees outside, and man, you feel like death going in, and you feel like a new man coming out. It's great.
That's something we haven't really talked about a lot. The setup that it takes for this broadcast. You guys are out here. Sometimes me, just really depends on the week. You guys are out here on like a Thursday afternoon for a couple hours. Hard, intense laboring, running cables, cameras.
The setup has changed over the years, but yeah, the hardest part, and you can see it right here, is that dang roof. Because it's got a special Mylar layer on top that is actually helps with the thermal properties of the roof, because that white reflects 95% of all the light and the heat that hits it, so that way it's not reflected into the or it's not absorbed into the building. But when you're up there setting up a camera, running cables, it's reflected right into you. So it's kind of like the same thing as being on the lake, how you get cooked a little harder from the reflection. And so that's part of the trials and tribulations of setting up. But it's a labor of love. We love doing this. I mean, this is our 4th full season of broadcasting right now, and just seeing the growth and where we started and where we've come from, and honestly, just looking at the facility. I mean, you'll notice all these solar panels we just added to the roofs of all the buildings. That wasn't here two months ago.
Yes.
Wasn't even here last month. They just finished
in July, I think. It wasn't here for the drift event.
And so they've added them to the top of the sky deck. They've added them to the top of the main clubhouse, all the garages. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we are now the largest private solar farm in the state of Georgia right now, which is kind of cool.
Man, we got all kinds of stuff.
We're also one of the largest EV charging stations. We've got the 10 level 3 EV chargers. So you can literally come here and be about as green as possible. When they first built this place, we were one of the greenest racetracks available. I mean, every toilet was a low flow toilet. All the lights are on timers. So, if you go into the bathroom too long, the light will turn off on you. But
I've had that happen before here.
It's all in efforts to save energy, to reduce our impact on the environment. And hats off to Jeremy Porter and all the management and the people here that have really pushed this racetrack forward. And honestly, set the example for other venues, other facilities of just how we can do things here.
Speaking of moving forward, our lights are now working.
Yes, we actually had that event last week. And, man, we've had so much stuff going on, Steve.
And, I unfortunately had to miss it. I had prior obligations.
So were you at another racetrack?
I was cheating on AMP.
I was going to say, who you with? Who you been with?
My side girl.
Oh.
Dixie.
I thought I was your main boo.
You are. But occasionally, if you don't answer the phone, I have to go elsewhere.
I just need a man.
When a man loves a racetrack. See, this is the unhinged hour that we were talking about just a minute ago.
This is what happens if I don't tell you you're pretty on air, Steve.
Yep. Okay, I'm good now. I'm good. I can kick back and relax. We're good. Everything's going to be great. Let's continue with this broadcast.
You guys good?
we had somebody
setting up. Well, we're in a new office today, so we've been casually moving around here. This is the nicest studio I think we've had. I've got a full fireplace in front of me.
A
big screen on the wall,
track map,
track
IVs,
map, IV station. I'm not leaving.
I mean, we got this all new setup over here with the broadcast.
So just take my batteries out, throw me in the closet. I don't want to go home. I'll stay right here.
I mean, we can have bunk beds. We could. Oh my God, we could build bunk beds.
We're going activities.
We're going back. Did you touch my drumstick? We even have a pool. And a putting green, which I definitely need to work on because my short game is terrible.
Yes, and we actually did a putting contest there last year. We had one of our members' socials. And actually, Mikey helped me set that up. He was actually the course administrator, producer Michael Lemon-Drop Lane. And it was funny because we gave him a captain's hat. And we stuck him out there and said, you're the captain. And it was this big, full-brim military,
that's awesome.
High-top hat. And it was pretty funny. We had a good time with that.
Oh,
I also
boy.
got told that MCs are not allowed to drink anymore at member socials after that one as well. That was one too many daiquiris. That was a fun night though, and I wish we had the IV service back then.
I mean,
But we I don't say we party all the time, but we have a good time here at the racetrack, and we are a membership club first and foremost, and so really it is about customer service, about putting on a good experience for our members, because I mean at the end of the day they're the ones that pay the bills.
Yes.
They're the ones. That's why we're here. That's why me and you get to be up here having podcast hour while we wait, and without
apparently we're doing something right because people enjoy it, people follow us, people subscribe. Speaking of, you should subscribe to our YouTube.
Yes, and the Atlanta Motorsports Park YouTube page, LRR. I don't know if y'all have a YouTube page yet.
We do have a YouTube page. We haven't ran our Hot Lives of Liberty podcast in a hot minute. We've been kind of really focusing and hitting the hammer hard down on getting to every track possible. So we kind of have ran out of time, I guess you could
Well, I
say.
think, and y'all are mostly on Facebook. So if you like any kind of short track racing news, you try and keep up with what's going on in the local area here in Georgia, and they also cover down in Alabama and pretty much the Southeast in general.
We take the whole Southeast, and we're branching out. Unfortunately, for the Amped Up event, we are going to be one member short. Reed is heading up to Ossawa in Wisconsin to cover a race up there.
Don't you know?
Don't you know? Cheese curds and RC Cola, which is the greatest racetrack concession stand ever.
Well, hopefully he'll bring some back for the crew.
Maybe he will. He's actually going to stop in on Thursday on his way up.
Oh, cool.
We're getting our the guy that covers the Northeast and some of the Canada stuff. Joey's going to be coming down for the Amped Up event. We're actually planning to have a very large crew with a lot
awesome.
of.
You said you're getting a stock car coming out?
Oh, we're getting more than a stock car, son.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting one stock car, we're getting a dirt car, and we're getting a road course car.
Oh, sick. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, in just under 3 weeks, we've got the big Amped Up event coming here to Atlanta Motorsports Park. One of my favorite events of the year. Actually, we are 2 weeks out from that event.
God, I'm so excited. Speaking of, I got to finish ordering everything
Yeah,
for the event.
It's our big, so this is in partnership between Atlanta Motorsports Park, Dawson County Sheriff's Office, and Drive Strong Atlanta. So those are our three big entities that are putting this on. We have a lot of other sponsors as well. And the main purpose of this is to get people off the street, to rev responsibly, teaching, the youth, enthusiasts that might not know the legal, responsible ways to enjoy speed, really just trying to educate them on how to, exert responsibly, how to exhibit, how to, smoke some tires, do a little track driving. The sheriff's office is going to be out here actually chasing people, so that's going to be fun on the track.
It's going to be great if we can get that stock car out there and just have him entirely tear up the front stretch.
If
wide
you
open.
could put a giant speaker and play some Freebird while he's running from
Just
the
the
cops,
solo,
that would
just
be,
the solo, the whole solo.
That would be
from
fun.
where it peaks at Freebird, to the yeah, that part, yeah.
And there's still spots available right now. So if you are listening and you are interested in signing up, go do so, because we want this is for you guys. This is for the community. This is for everybody. It's free to attend. It is $25 if you want a driver's ban. So if you want to be able to come do some burnouts, come run from the cops, we are asking for $25 to get the driver's ban. And all this goes to support Drive Strong and basically our mission of just keeping you guys safe, keeping it off the streets, keeping it on the track. And this is kind of our big give back to the community event, and so we're really looking forward to this. We had an awesome time doing it last year. Almost got in a little bit of trouble with the police for how much overtime we used. Big shout out to Dawson County for all their support last year and all the officers they sent out here.
Last year we had like a whole SWAT team demonstration.
And they're doing that, and they were doing that again this year.
Oh,
so
great.
It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to have Chris is going to be out here with us doing his announcing his LA police chase coverage. That was still one of my absolute favorite clips.
When was that?
It was about last April.
I can't remember when we did that.
We had the DJ. They started playing Bad Boys for Life.
When
the SWAT team was rolling up, and Chris was sitting there. It was straight up like LA live police chase. Like, it was so much fun.
I mean, now we have a drone, so maybe we can use the drone.
Well, we were using it. And that was what made it so much fun. Because it was literally like having a chopper following, following somebody on the LA
it's
freeway.
The Bronco all over again.
Yes.
OJ just surrender.
And so right now, it looks like we are about 3 minutes away. I'm going to step away from the mic for 1 second, Steve, so
Well, it looks like it's Steve podcast hour.
So it's going to
by
be the
itself.
Steve podcast hour for 1 second.
You know, something we haven't done in a little while is some fan engagement with our live stream. So if you're currently watching our live stream, why don't you tell us where you're from and a little bit about your racing career, or even if you're just a racing fan. So again, just comment on there, and we'll read some of those out loud here in just a minute. So I'm pulling them up. Let's see if we've got any comments currently. Give me just a second to pull these up as I am currently looking this up. We got 15 people currently watching, so that's actually pretty good. That's on the YouTube page. Let's look here at the comments. Okay, we have no comments yet on the YouTube page, so if you guys are watching on Facebook, be sure you guys comment. We'd love to sit here and basically have a podcast hour with the fans. And again, fan engagement is something that we are working really, really hard on right now at Atlanta Motorsports Park to get you, the fans, the best experience possible. If you're not here, at least we can kind of make you here. Can't tell how many people we have out on the balcony, but welcome to Atlanta Motorsports Park. We appreciate each and every single one of you for being out here to watch this round 5 of the Summer Series. Will has informed me that he has yet to send the email out, the email blasters and the text message blasters out to say that, hey, we're live. So as we wait for him, we're going to take a quick little break, and he should be, oh, never mind. He's coming right back now. No break needed. I ran out of material, Will. I'm sorry.
We're good. Hey, you did good. I left you alone for 2 minutes.
I didn't burn the place down?
Nope, we're good. Still here.
Okay, good.
And that email is going out now, so we should be joined by a lot more followers now. Little reminder of letting you know we're live. And to be honest, if you love the Steve and Will Hour, we're going to be back at it again tomorrow over at Town Center Mall. Yeah, did you forget about that one too, Steve?
I did not forget about that one. I didn't schedule anything crazy
hopefully
today.
no coffee, alcohol tonight, because I'm going to need you ready to go tomorrow morning.
I'm actually going to make – actually, no. Aren't we doing a contest tomorrow?
Yeah, we are. We're actually having a donut eating contest. So if you want to join us at Caffeine and Octane at Town Center Mall, this is to help promote the Amped Up event. We're going to see who can eat 4 donuts the fastest.
I don't know, man. I think I might phone a friend, and we might.
If you happen to know a competitive eater who recently was banned from a certain hot dog eating contest,
I know that he's in the
Fly
area.
with caution.
Well, that was interesting.
yeah, I heard that from somewhere.
Something about caution. Caution, don't eat too many donuts, and caution that person might be very important to the eating community.
Fly with caution.
Oh, it says fly with
Fly
caution.
with caution.
Oh, geez, is
Fly
that
with
Jeff's turn?
Fly with caution.
Yeah, Jeff. What are you doing over there, Jeff? Start.
Fly with caution.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that at home. We can hear that in our
Fly
headset.
with caution.
I mean, it's almost like a sick beat, you know? Fly
Yeah.
with caution. It's
I'm
like
gonna start rapping over this. Don't give me freestyle.
Stephen Will at a racetrack.
I am barely hanging on by a thread here. Don't give them any reason to fire me, Steve.
Just remember certain words you can't say.
I'm still surprised we got invited back to Caffeine and Octane after last month.
Oh, my God, yes.
That bag of ducks joke. I thought that was going to push us over the edge.
Big wangs.
Oh, yeah, and all the Trump references, too. I mean,
Oh, Lord.
this is the day after he got nicked. This is the
Missed
amount
by
of-
a hair.
The amount of jokes we made.
Oh, God. We tried to keep that as professional as possible, and it just didn't work.
Nothing professional about me and you, Steve.
I have a moment or two throughout the day, but it looks like we're getting a nice little grid up of our SR3s and our SR1s.
And I can see our track photographer down there, Connor Cochran.
Hey, why don't we give a zoom in on that that
Let's-
vest right there?
Yeah, he's was he moonlighting on the job right now? Is that what I see?
Looky there. That says Liberty Racing Review.
Oh, I know that logo.
Yeah, you do know that logo. It's a nice logo, right?
Hey, where's my referral fee, by the way?
Your referral fee? Well, he still works for you too, so I mean, I guess that
I
works.
mean, I got him first. Come on.
Yeah, you
Hey,
did have him first.
give me like some LRR swag or something.
Okay, all right. You want a polo?
If you got him in big boy size.
What big boy size? I'll order you one right now.
Uh,
I'll order Mikey one too. He's been asking. I need your
Oh,
height, your weight, your social security number, your credit card information.
About 6'1", 200 pounds.
I'm 6'1", ripped.
Twisted steel and sex appeal.
I drive a Maserati, and he's a black belt in karate. He loves a good glass of wine. He's very mysterious.
It is a miracle that either of us are married, Steve. I don't know how.
Well, thank you, Ariel. I don't know how you put up with this.
That is, yeah. The only way a good man can be involved in motorsports is he's got a good woman behind him.
10 years.
And it looks like we have got, I believe that is, yeah, so that's going to be Evan Lowry on the outside of row 2 right there. So they are going to line them up by time like we normally do. So this is a multi-class race, but it is not going to be a split start race.
Ooh. So we're just going to
So you've got the 3 SR3s that had faster times, and you can see there's a big chunk of the SR1s right there in the middle. And you can see that the one with the black cowling there towards the back, that looks like Pete, because he was in the 124s, which puts him just behind the pace of the top guys on the SR1s. So definitely going to be interesting as these guys mix it up. Not a ton of power difference here, although these 3 SR3s up front are the new XXRs, so they have a little bit more gusto. They're the 1500 cc's, so they can pull off, they can pull away from the regular 1340 cc SR1s. But on paper, it's about a 40 horsepower difference. Go from about 180 to 220, 225.
Hey, Will, we got cars rolling.
And yes, we do. Although I did not get official word whether we were doing 1 or 2 pace laps. I think because of how tight we had the schedule today, these cars should already be up to temperature. So I would not be surprised if
just one.
if pace car comes in on this lap.
Oh, yeah. So we could have racing straight out the gate.
A great shot there from Cowboy Cam Christopher.
Who's in our pace car today?
We've actually got Will Lucas in the
Okay.
pace car today. Used to work at Primal, so has moved on to bigger and better opportunities. He is a racer himself. I was actually talking to him prior to the race. He says he's already got about 16 races in his belt this season. I forgot to ask what series he was racing in. But that's often what happens here. We get a lot of mechanics, a lot of, I don't want to call them transient labor, but, you're always looking to hitch your wagon to a ride, and that's how you do it. That's how you hustle in the racing world. You work around the track, you meet some gentleman drivers, and then you go hit the road and you go race. So doing a great job keeping that thing between the stripes right now.
I'm trying to think of how we're going to call this first lap. Do we call it like a golf stream?
No, we're
Too
more,
excited
more,
for that?
more boogities and less Baba Booies.
Oh, okay. I still think that
So unless I get to say Baba Booey, then yeah, we could call it like a golf.
Okay,
I'll
all
go
right.
stand out in the balcony.
All
Actually,
right.
I'll go stand next to the track mic we got down there.
He lines up for the start of the race, nice and slow, NPR style.
Baba Booey! Security.
Happy Gilmore.
And let's see, they are still single file, so I'm guessing this is going to be a double pace lap here. Hopefully, let's see.
Yeah, hopefully they realize this is a double pace lap and don't send it.
Nah, he's staying,
Yeah,
he's staying
yeah.
on track.
Yeah,
they
we're
got
double yellows out. We'll do one more.
Because last month, because of the heat during the I keep saying last month, I forget we're in August already, the June 22nd race, they only did one pace lap on race 2 because it was a scorcher out there.
It was. Yes, it was.
An absolute scorcher.
Yep.
In turn 12.
Yep.
Well, 13 kind of. Which,
That
crazy
track
thing,
count.
you can't even see it anymore. That grass has grown back even better.
Well,
than
maybe
it
because
was
of the
before.
30
Yeah.
bajillion gallons of rain that we've had in the past.
You know,
know,
maybe that's what we should do for October. Just burn the whole thing, do a controlled burn, and just have the whole track.
Oh my God,
be
let's
black.
throw
That would be-
Oktoberfest at the track.
Yes.
Oktoberfest. I think we did that at Kart Track a couple years ago.
Oh, we've been running that actually for a while. That's always our big October.
Oh.
If you can, basically, if you go to kart track and you set the fastest time of the day, you'll get a free session added to your account. So
We got to figure out how to make that a little bit more like German. Give them like a
Just
plastic stein.
Add a couple dots on top of the A
Oh,
in
no.
fast.
Oh, okay.
Oktoberfest.
We'll fast them.
Ah, yeah, Fasten.
Yeah,
Fasten die go-kart.
the cart goes very fast, yeah.
I was hoping you weren't going to say beer and go-karting because
No. We leave that to Andretti's.
that would be, yeah.
There's a reason why. Every time you go to Andretti's, those things are tore up.
I'm good.
Sir, how many drinks have you had? I don't
This
remember.
cart can't steer.
Well, yeah, because you put it through the wall at full race pace.
And also, unlike Andretti's, we have runoffs.
Yeah. And
So
a bigger
it's not-
course and
yes.
faster carts and a more
Like
beautiful facility
Twice the
And-
twice the speed.
and lights
Yes.
outside.
Yes. You can catch a cool breeze.
You can run in the rain in some circumstances.
Wet driving is do it at your own risk, especially if it's on a Saturday and the track's full. And it looks like we are getting ready to go. We are almost done with pace lap number 2, so expect to see that white primal BMW pulling off the track as our leader, Greg Folger, will take the field to green as they come here, just making their way through turns 13. Yeah, look at that. You can see not a single blemish.
It's actually
in that
greener.
grass. Yeah. You can tell where the spot is because it's greener.
Yeah. That grass looks beautiful.
Yes, it does. Big shout out to the engineering team. They worked their absolute tails off.
I thought you
during
were
the
going
month of
somewhere else
July.
with that, but
No.
okay.
No, they worked their tails off to keep this place looking as beautiful as it does. And speaking of a thing of beauty, we're about to get our first race start of the day as pace car driver Will Lucas is going to pull off track. And that is going to leave Greg Folger and Chris Hune on the front row to take this field to green. We've got those F1 starting lights, so keep your eye on them. Once they flash green, we are going to be underway. And you can see the starter there. He has got his hands on the button. And as we listen, and there they go. Green, green, green. We are underway, already into some 3-wide action as they come barreling down the front straightaway. Greg Folger leading the pack. Look at that, David Mason to the inside, sticking a fender up under Chris Hune as he's fighting for position, and we're not even through turn 1.
And we're already getting off to a fast start, quick start.
And there goes Chris Hune hitting him. He took the wider line through 1, had a little bit more speed, so he's able to get that position back from David Mason. Man, David, he got eager there. I don't know if I would say he got greedy, but I think he saw that opening and he was going to try and take it.
We got a long snake going through into turn 6.
And interesting, looking at some of these braking lines there, that looked like Evan Lowry actually staying outside that concrete patch,
Yeah,
and
that's
then everybody else went on it.
Ooh, we got a car a little off pace there. I don't know what's going on there.
I think somebody missed a shift there because he is back on pace.
He almost
That would have been Lowry, Fabiani, or Jose. I'm not sure who that was. We're gonna have
that's
to
in
see.
there in the rear there. Well, towards the road, that's what, 4th from last
Well, they lost about 2 or 3 spots, so that
9th currently is reflecting Will Franklin, but that was as they crossed the line.
yeah, we're not going to see an
Yeah.
updating score chart till they pass. But right now, lap number 1 is almost in the books. There you can see all the way at the top of your screen, Greg Folger and Chris Hune. Like I said, they were the favorites going into this one. And almost neck and neck on pace. There's David Mason behind him, Evan Lowry, Jose. Ooh, and that was Blakely Fabiani with the misshift.
You know, he had a stretch of bad luck there last year.
And we saw that happen a couple times in his Miata.
Yeah.
Him and
Jose.
well, yeah, it happened with Jose Garcia and also happened with Keith Williamson playing ping pong a little bit because he missed the shift and they end up being pool balls.
The leaders are kind of
Yeah,
closing
they
in on
are.
each other. They're neck and neck.
And
Well,
I don't expect Chris to stay back here for long. He is going to push this entire race. And he has to, too, because he's already missed a race this season. So
yeah,
that's
he's got to make up for it
that's his
somehow.
drop race, so he's got to get in points. And Greg Folger was our winner in SR1 last year.
Oh, he's
so
thinking
no
of peeking out to
slouch.
the outside right there.
Yep.
He keeps
And you're literally looking at your SR1 season winner and your SR3 season winner from last year battling it out right now.
in SR3s.
And they're both in SR3. Yeah, Greg got the SR3, so he was renting the SR1 all of last year, and then his dad had an SR3, and then they both obviously upgraded the SR3s this season. And I believe part of the reason Chris had to miss that race was he was upgrading his SR3. So he had the older SR3, and he's now got the XXR.
I thought Chris was in China.
He might have been. Actually, that might have been. I forget it was this year or last year. He was on his China trip. But I know during that period he upgraded his car as well. And that was because I think David started the trend. He got the XXR, and everybody else saw how quick it was, so they got their XXRs because David got his middle of last season.
Oh, he's 2 off.
Cutting the grass there.
And he fell back a lot.
Way off. And
I don't know if he overshot that corner or what he did there, but I honestly don't know. He just kind of went really, really wide.
And he's going to have a little bit of garbage on his tires after doing that, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Although he's pulling back up. I mean, managed to keep that thing straight and underway. I'm not sure if, I'm not the race director, so I'm not sure if that's a penalty or not. I know we used to penalize him for going four off, but that was only 2 off technically.
Yeah, 2 off. That's fine.
So, and he didn't gain or lose any positions. So
looks
I'm
like
pretty
he's
sure,
about 5 car lengths behind the leader Greg Folger.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably take it a little easy on this lap while he figures out the car to make sure everything is good. And you can see all those fresh lines on track right there. That part of the maintenance team doing a good job filling all the cracks and making sure everything is nice and smooth out there. But with that is going to give Greg a little bit of breathing room. Yeah, look at that on the times. Almost a full second difference that last lap. And both those laps were the fastest laps of the race for each driver.
I think it's going to get faster as the day progresses. Ever so slightly, not by much.
Yes. And we need to see if we got some other battles going on track right now. Looks like Evan Lowry, Jose Avelas are pretty close together, only about 0.2 seconds between the two of them. Gavin just behind them, another 0.3 seconds. So pretty good battle right now going on for 4th place overall, although this is the battle for the lead in SR1, and that's what we are following right now. That looks like Henry Banks and Blakely Fabiani right now. So one thing you'll notice, I found out today, we've got another orange helmet. Normally that's William Layton. Easy to follow when we see that orange helmet, but we also have Henry Banks out there. He is new with us this race, and he also has that bright orange helmet. So always love it when the drivers help us out a little bit to identify these almost identical looking SR1 rentals.
So I'm kind of lost here. Did Folger pass Hun? Or did Hun pass Folger?
We must have had no, Hune, while we were following this battle right here, Hune definitely passed Folger. But right now we are watching the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. This is Gavin Potet, William Layton, and Will Franklin right now. Or actually, no, Jose Avila is Gavin Potet. No, sorry.
Man, we don't even know what's going on right now.
Yeah, we're so far. So that's actually no. So they all just shook up. So that's William Layton in the front with the orange helmet.
Okay.
So that's Layton, Franklin, and that's not Pete Folger. All right, yeah, we are.
So something's going on here with the timing and scoring. Something's a little off.
Because I know that's not Folger with the other orange helmet. So we will have to see as they come past the line. I forgive my ignorance, although I'm pretty positive that is William Layton in the lead of this pack right now.
I think you're right.
With that orange helmet. And he is currently, let's see, this is the battle for 4th and 5th in the SR1 class. Currently 7th overall in this race.
So Chris Hunt and Greg Folger just crossed the line, so that is correct. David Mason just crossed the line in 3rd. Evan Lowry just crossed the line in 4th. Jose Velez.
So should be, yeah, Jose.
Gavin Potet.
Yes, that is Will Layton up in front.
And no, that was. Well, it hasn't updated.
That was Henry Banks. Yeah, okay.
Will Layton, Pete Folger,
With
Henry
Pete in the
Banks,
middle.
Will Franklin,
Ooh.
Blakely Fabiani, who's fallen way back, which is unusual.
Yeah, so that must have been a mechanical on Blakely.
Actually, yes, it's showing he is 3 laps down.
Yeah, so he is pulled off the track. So that is why the scoring is getting all jumbled up, because It only scores them when they're at the line, but if a driver is constantly falling back, has a mechanical, we're not going to see that till it updates. And so we are still watching that battle between William Layton, Pete Folger, and Henry Banks right now as they crest the hill, and we should be picking up the battle of first place here. Yep, good transition, Mikey, or whoever that is flying the drone right now. And we are back now following the leaders, and that is Chris Hune and Greg Folger. We missed that pass as we were shifting to follow give the mid-pack some love.
I don't know what happened, but I mean, he
passed
Folger
it.
kind of
He must have had a bad lap because Chris has
bad
got
shift or something.
Yeah, Chris has got a little bit of a gap on him right now.
It's what, a 4 or 5 car gap, give or take.
Of racing, not a insurmountable lead, but they definitely flip-flopped from when we last left him, because last we saw Chris was off there on the side of the road, you know, checking the height of the grass, and
it wasn't the spec. He had to take it down a little bit.
He obviously got it figured out. Now that was in the earlier laps, so could have been a heat issue, could have been temps, but I'm not certain of that because they were just out qualifying 15 minutes prior to the start of this race, so the car should have been pretty warmed up.
Oh, Greg is really sideways. Oil.
That's some of the explanation of what happened.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little loose there. Might have hit a slight oily patch on the track. Just because of the heat.
I mean, not even oil on the track. It's probably just the track being warm and tires not gripping. And that could have also been some dirty air there coming through the mini corkscrew back there that is turn 13.
He has kind of recovered nicely. He's not that far back. He's a good 8-10 car lengths back from our view right here.
Greg is a fast driver. Chris is the more consistent driver.
Yes.
And it's nothing against Greg. Chris has just
well,
been out here.
Speaking of Chris got a little crank it up edition. Mikey, turn that mic volume all the way up.
Well, I know Chris has been out here a lot longer than Greg has, so he's got more seat time, more experience on the track. You know, Chris is a member over in the Hong Nor garage. He's over there with Matt White, Blake Fabiani, and so they have.
Ooh, speaking of, he got loose again coming out of that corner. That was Folger that got loose.
Well, I think he is feeling the pressure right now because we're just hit the halfway point in this race, and he is trying to make that gap back up.
Well, he's definitely doing it. He's got 2 car lengths from 10 car lengths to 2.
You can see he took a little bit different line coming there through 13. He let that car push out a lot further, and maybe just using the outer part of the asphalt might not be as hot.
Could have a little bit of shade on it, too, considering the tree lines right there.
Yes, and that is something the drivers will play to their advantage, especially if they're getting loose on a certain part of track and other parts covered in shade. And look at that. Chris Hune turning the fastest lap of the race, that time by a 1:19.436. So he is not letting up right now. Almost a full second faster than Greg Folger that last time.
You know, since we switched the rules to where you can use the rumble strips and the runoffs, I think the drivers are a little bit more confident, a little bit faster.
Well, it has definitely made turn 6 a lot different.
Oh, yeah. It used to be very, very tight. You couldn't mess up. You had to be point on everything. You couldn't swing out too wide. You had to kiss that apex just as closely as possible. And now you've got that little runoff right there, and they definitely use it to their advantage.
And that's probably the only part of the track you're going to see them take full advantage of the runoff. You'll see them dip a little bit right here as they make that turn through 10. We've added a little bit of concrete to the inside of that from where they're always clipping the turn. But really not a lot of runoff to use to their advantage there. The other place you will see them use runoff, and look at this, Greg Folger already pretty much back up on the bumper of Chris Hune, even after those mistakes and getting loose. But you'll see here as they come through 14 and 15, there's a bit of runoff at the exit of 16, and that is the other spot you will see drivers consistently use as they'll swing all the way to the outside. But these radicals don't necessarily need the help. You know, you'll see it more with production car racing, with Miatas, BMWs. They will, you know, because they're coming through that turn 16 at such a high rate of speed, the entire car will just lift up and float all the way to that runoff area. And, you know, if you are a fast driver, you are flirting with that line, with the edge. And, you know, we have seen some guys upside down in the tire walls there at 16. That is one of the, I say that's one of the pucker factor moments on track. If you're ever in a street car and you're with somebody that knows what they're doing, when they take turn 16, if you're not a praying man, you will become one quickly.
Yeah, that's actually pretty true.
Oh, so we've been calling this backwards.
So Folger is technically in the lead. I don't know if maybe they got the wrong transponders. Maybe that's what
Maybe
happened.
they got them flipped upstairs. Okay, so yeah, we've been so take everything we just said about Chris and Greg
And flip it.
and flip it.
Sir, may I flip it in yet?
Put my thing down, flip it, and reverse
Reverse
it.
it.
That's probably the only part of that song I could sing without getting kicked off air right now. So.
Yeah.
Dung, da, dung, da, dung, 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 dung. Sorry. Missy!
Boy, we have fun in here.
We were
don't
just talking about how the kids don't know good music these days.
You know, in all honesty, I'm still technically young.
And I'm sure anybody over 40 is probably yelling at me right now.
I'm only 26.
So that is Greg Folger up front. I guess we'll just have to find out at the podium ceremony.
Yeah, I don't know. The official results.
So, and you know, part of what happens when you run a race. So, you know, fortunately we got qualified people upstairs that know, whoa, look at that.
I looked down
Greg
for 1
Folger
second to write my notes.
Does a pirouette. Chris Hune getting by, man, and he is still stopped there on the hill. And that is not a place you want to get stuck because these cars, you got to put it in first and use the clutch, and that is the steepest part on track.
Yeah, that's reflecting the 29 of Greg Folger.
And that is definitely Greg Folger. Because I can
Man.
see that McDonald's on there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Man. That's kind of heartbreak right there.
So
It
take
was-
everything we just said
and stream
flip
now,
it again.
flip
flip it one more time.
Wow.
And thank God Greg didn't flip there. He just did a 360.
I mean, his stomach probably did.
And he's going to have to roll that thing down the hill. There's no way.
Yeah,
He's going to either roast that clutch because there's no way he's getting that into first.
you can't tell the elevation from this camera angle, but it is
Yeah, and
ungodly steep.
he is there. I don't know if they've thrown a local yellow, if there is going to be a full course yellow.
He's going to start back. And
Oh,
and
no,
he-
he's got
he
it
managed-
underway. Oh,
managed-
wow.
he managed to get that car up and running rather fast. So he's going to fall way down the
He
leaderboard,
lost, at least 3/4 of a lap there.
at least.
So everything I said about starting a car on a hill, even though I drive a stick shift and know how
But
I
yeah.
can barely start my dang Corolla on that hill.
Yeah, let's
let
get a good
alone the
replay
race
here.
clutch.
So-
Yeah, let's look at this.
Looks like he tried to just kiss that corner and got a little bit of grass.
Ooh,
That's
yeah,
all it
he
was.
did. And he just came around, and that is pretty much going to give it to Chris Hune because I don't think he's got anybody else
Yeah, nowhere near him.
around him. So he just has got to finish his Sunday drive right now. And we did not release. It doesn't look like we released the pace cars, so we are still underway right now.
And that was in what turn again, Will? 12?
That
11?
was coming up the hill, basically at the entrance of turn 12, yeah. That was turn 11 where he spun out at the bottom there.
Let's see where he falls to in
And I
position.
bet he wished we were not covering him during that, you know. Like, why couldn't you be on the mid-pack during that?
Yeah, he fell back all the way to 10th, so he fell 9
Oh,
positions.
man. And that is going to put him, let's see, and he's behind. Did he fall behind his dad? Because I see.
Yeah, he fell. Did he?
Yeah, he's lap 12, although it's still showing him in second on the scoring screen. But yeah, he's a lap down. So
Yeah, it hasn't reflected. Maybe they've got it set up a little different. I would assume he's down to at least 10th. At least.
and we should see some results here populate. Make sure it's on like.
There you go,
actual-
Greg just passed the line. But it hasn't updated where he's sitting at. I don't know where his exact position, but he definitely moved down the leaderboard.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see where that is. I
Yeah,
guess
it's-
timing and scoring is gonna have to do that manually.
Yeah, he's reflecting second still, but there's absolutely no way.
I'm sure after the you see the broadcast said I was in second.
Hey, man.
And we've had that before too. That's the The double-edged sword that is the broadcast is now we've got video evidence of everything. So, normally when the racers protest a decision, if they don't have footage, they don't have a case. And now they got footage of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty good at covering the race.
And so right now we are watching the battle for, it's probably 8th overall now. So it looks like Henry Banks and Will Franklin going at it right now. We'll have to see at the line. It looks like Banks just got around Franklin because I see that orange helmet at the front. And it looks like Leighton has fallen off pace a little bit. So let's see if this scoring data updates as they cross the stripe here. And that is showing Will Franklin still in the lead in front of Henry Banks right now. But it's saying Banks and Leighton are still 1-2, but that's definitely not them. That's Pete Folger in the middle.
Hey, remember how I said during our little break?
And speaking of Folgers, there goes Greg Folger getting around William Leighton right now. So he is trying to claw back a little bit. That's good enough to put him up to 9th or 8th overall, I should say. And it looks like our white flag is out, so this will be the final lap. And that's Evan Lowry that just took the flag. So Chris Hune and David Mason have already taken the flag, and they are well ahead of Evan Lowry right now. About a 3.5, almost 4-second gap from Evan all the way up to Chris. David Mason still has about a 2.5-second gap. So it's about a second between, 1 second between second place and third right now. But Chris Hune with that unfortunate
Oh,
spin.
and he goes
Whoa,
again.
He does it again. Locks it up into the grass. Ooh.
Ooh, it keeps it off that curbing.
And I wonder if that is a tire issue.
I would assume so. We were
'Cause,
talking about that earlier.
Well, the race earlier this year when that was happening to Chris, I talked to him afterwards. He says, man, I was being cheap. I should have just gotten a new set of tires. He was trying to finish off his tires, and it just bit him hard. And I almost wonder if that's what's going on with Greg right now. Could be at the tail end of those tires. But there is something going on with that car. He's definitely going to need to take a look at that. But it's been both times in braking zones and just the car getting loose. And definitely not what you want when you're in an almost $200,000 race car. But good on everybody else avoiding collision in both of those spins.
I mean, man, that was.
And we're
He kind of bobbled shortly after the start-finish line too. I wonder if he's.
I think he might have stabbed it a little too hard at the start and just immediately broke loose, and then was just trying to recover, and that's kind of where he drifted over. But we'll definitely need to get Chris Conowall down there to talk with Greg Folger. And we'll have a little bit of a break. There's about a 30-minute gap between these two races, so we'll have plenty of time to talk to these drivers and figure out exactly what happened there.
Yeah, we can go back to our comments like I was talking about earlier, reading through YouTube comments. There's a shout out to me from one Michael Lane. So I'm
we got one fan watching.
We got Tammy Griffin saying "Go Evan." Shout out to Tammy. Let's go over to
What did Mikey say? I love you, Steve. Don't listen to Will.
shout out to Big Steve.
Big Steve on the mic.
Big Steve. For those of you that
I'm
don't
gonna
know,
get-
that's my alternate personality.
I'm going to get everybody at Caffeine and Octane tomorrow to call you Big Steve.
That's perfectly fine. I've actually got a decent crowd supposedly coming out for that. So it's if I'm not mistaken, it's British cars. So we'll
Yes.
talk about
Ooh.
Ariel Adams.
So we'll be mopping oil up off the parking
Ooh,
lot. No,
jeez.
shots fired. I can't do this. I bit my tongue with all the Jeep
That was a
jokes
couple
last
weeks
week.
The shots fired part. That was a couple weeks ago.
Oh. Yeah, but but unlike the shooter, I don't miss.
Oh. Ooh.
Sometimes I barely nick the target, but
Just grazed him. Man, we're going to get kicked off the air for this.
yeah, I know. But no, no, we'll have a good time at the mall show tomorrow. So if you guys are in the area, definitely come by Caffeine and Octane Town Center Mall. We will be out there. It'll be another 3 hours of Will and Steve on the mic.
Memeing.
Having fun. Although Mikey will actually have a hot mic this time. His mic today, unfortunately, only goes into our headset, so you can't hear any of the inappropriate stuff he's been telling us all broadcast.
He's telling us to say these jokes.
Yeah, he's just feeding us these very coarse jokes that we're not going to repeat on air.
The fake news propaganda.
Yeah, you're fake news, Mikey.
He's just sitting back, relaxing.
But no, we're gonna have a good time, and should be fun. So definitely come out, see us, say hi, eat some donuts for us.
Yeah.
We will be making
We'll
fun of
film
you
it.
while you do it. Yeah, it'll be live.
We'll call
We'll
you
have
fat.
a timer. We're gonna see how well. The quicker you do it,
Yeah, the better. The quicker.
well, I think we're gonna be leading into me and you doing this side by side at the end.
Okay, that's fine.
So you better pack your appetite.
All right. I don't really like donuts that much. but-
I am not the biggest donut fan either.
No, Boston cream though is the best. Mikey's over here fat shaming
Yeah,
me.
he just called BS on us in the headset. He said, "Yeah, you don't like donuts."
Yeah, Boston creams are better.
He's like, "And my BMW's fast." And so it looks like we've got those drivers on pit road. So hopefully we get Chris down there, because he should be trying to flag down our winner, Chris Hune, first place overall for Radical SR3. And then we've also got Evan Lowry was first overall for SR1 Radical. So hopefully we can get a word with both those drivers. So if you can hear me down there on the speakers, don't go anywhere. Chris is going to come find you, and we're going to interview.
Stay tuned. He will find you.
You cannot leave.
Yeah, you cannot leave.
It puts the lotion on its.
I don't know you, or however that line goes. I don't know you, and you don't know me, but I will find you, and I will interview you.
Yeah, Chris.
Speaking of British,
isn't that another Chris? No, it's Liam Neeson. I was thinking, okay, Chris Neeson down there.
what kind of? What are we looking
That
at?
is looks like an Aston Martin.
Isn't that British?
Yes, and we're sitting here totally tooling on British cars, and that thing looks gorgeous out there. That is parked in front of the Aero Engineering Garage, so I can only assume that is Alan Barge in one of his cars. He's one of the owners of Primal Racing.
That
Then we
door
got-
was.
Yeah, we got Chris down there. We met up. We got anybody yet?
Yes, sir. I am down here, and we're getting our camera set up. We've got our race winner.
That on.
Oh. Sometimes these batteries shake loose. Hang on one second. Oh.
Yeah, y'all can't be directly underneath the. Yeah.
All right, let's head out here. Chris, can you hear us now?
Yep, I got
Perfect.
I'll say y'all can stay in the shade. The camera's got to be pointed into it.
Is it working?
Yeah, we're good. We can see y'all.
Okay, excellent. Well, Chris, congratulations on that win, and you know the start much different than the finish. So let's hear from your perspective how things went out there.
Well, yeah, most of the race, Greg and I were just battling. I was looking for an opportunity. I had a few moments. I'd get close, and then I'd have a moment here or there. It was slick. So, you know, until he spun and going up 11, that was really the opportunity. I had just dropped the wheel off and coming out of 10, too, so I was a little sideways. But it got slick out there.
Yeah, we did see you head into the grass that one time. Didn't seem to affect you too much. You were able to very quickly catch back up. But, yeah, so obviously you didn't see that there was a second, Greg had a second event which prompted the folks upstairs to talk about how last season you had done a little extra mileage on a set of tires, which had an impact. We're going to speak to Greg in just a moment, find out if it was a similar or a situation, or was it just extra slick out there today?
I think it's hot, and there's, you know, the track's slick. It's got some different rubber on it, maybe. I don't know. But we were turning 19, so we were fast, but it was a little more on the edge than normal.
Yeah, and last year's SR3 winner versus last year's SR1 winner, we were watching you all intently. got some some driver interviews. I haven't seen yours just yet, but I couldn't help but you got a congratulatory kiss at the end of that. Tell us who's here in support today.
My wife's here. She came down with me. Came down yesterday, did some work around the track, and I'm sure all the kids, grandkids, are watching, and they like to watch on the stream. So glad you guys do this.
Oh yeah, it's really a great joy for us as well, and getting to know you as well. So this is race 5 of the series. So what sort of reflections or lessons can you share this far into the season?
Well, I missed the first race, so I'm playing catch up right now. Greg's kind of leading the SR3s. I need more wins, so I'm just going to keep going as hard as I can go and pass them again.
There you go. So you get 1 drop per season, and that miss was your drop. So every race counts for you then. Well, Chris, always a pleasure, and congratulations on your podium.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to go check out Greg and see what he has to say about that unfortunate spin out ×2. And it looks like he is right over here. So this looks like Greg's car from last year, perhaps. This is his SR1, and this is his SR3.
Start, not a good finish.
You got race 2, man. Good luck.
Okay, everybody, I'm here with Greg Folger, who was just conversing with one of the track marshals, and so everybody really anxious to hear, a firsthand account of what happened with that pirouette down there.
Yeah, Chris and I had a great start. He was all over me the first 2 laps, and then I could tell he would have a couple bobbles. I'd pull away a little bit. Then I'd start having some mistakes. He'd tighten back up. And one of the areas he was faster than me was going up 11 into 12. I felt like I could usually get a better run out of 13 for those first several laps. So just tried pushing a part of the track. It didn't matter. And when you're already at the end of the curbing, that extra 1 inch getting in the grass, those slick tires don't like that too much.
Yeah, so we were talking to Chris about last season. You're our last season SR1 season winner, and now you've headed up. You're up to SR3. Chris, of course, the SR3 winner last year. So very competitive. You guys are putting up some great lap times there. But one thing that we reflected on during the race about his season is that he tried to get a little extra mileage out of a set of tires. That wasn't the situation for you today. It was track conditions and getting in the grass.
Yes, sir. That was it. Yeah, I know it's a hot one today, so should have been more conservative. As that was the plan going into the race. But then when you're in the lead and you see Chris all over you, it was pretty much let's survive this one and get to the next. And then after the pirouette, standing here giving a 3rd place interview, you kind of wish you'd have backed off a little bit and you could add the same result and maybe had a better shot going into one. But unfortunately, they're a little flat spotted now. But still a beautiful day to be out here and excited for race 2. Maybe have a little better finish.
Oh yeah, for sure. And listen, we were commending you on your ability to sort of negotiate that the pirouette and more especially to start back up on the hill at 11. I mean, excellent driving on your part, and so we got a little extra time. So I'm going to invite you to shout out to anybody that you've got here supporting you today.
Got my aunt and uncle, Candace and Clint, here. Of course, got my dad here racing alongside me. I think he may have even got the best of me that race. But got my mom here as well. So just a great location, great venue, great day, great friends, and congrats to Chris and David for the 1-2 finish today.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you on the podium as well, and we'll see you next race.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to try to track down Evan Lowry here in just a moment. So we'll send it back up to you guys. I'm going to see. Oh, here's Evan. All right. And Jose, if I could get Evan and Jose. We'll start with that. Jose, you can come on up. Evan, I saw at the end of the race you running back and giving a great big congratulations to Jose. So I want to talk about sort of the genesis of that congratulatory high five that you gave him. But you're our race 1 winner. And so let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I felt pretty good the whole race. I knew I was going to be starting on the outside at the beginning because I was qualified in 4th. And so I know Blakely's my main competitor, and so I knew he was going to have the inside line, but I managed to stick behind David and pull away. And then from then on there, I went a couple times defensive just to ward off any attacks at all. And then from then on there, I got enough of a gap that I just started setting consistent lap times and got better and better, and trying to keep every lap within a second until the final lap where I just let off and kind of brought it in. Just felt really great.
Excellent. So we're now 5. This is race 5 of the series. So I'd like to know, you said Blakely Fabiani being sort of one of your top competitors. Where are you guys at as far as the point standing?
I'm not sure, but I know after this race it's going to be very close. So I'd have to look at the standings.
Okay, so the let's get to the congratulations to Jose. So would that signify that maybe the two of you were working together during that race?
Kind of, yeah. Just rooting for him behind me because I knew he had the pace to beat him as well, and that he could pull it off. And I was just very happy for him. That he was able to pull it off and everything.
Excellent. Well, I haven't seen your driver interview yet, but we do know the nickname. Jose is the only driver thus far who mentioned a possible nickname being the Wolf. And so I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. If other drivers were to nickname you, what do you think they would nickname you?
I don't know.
Well, that is the number one answer, survey says. Yes, it is the number one answer. So maybe the Wolf has a nickname for you. We'll pass the headphones over. Congratulations on your win. All right, we'll see you at the podium. Jose, the Wolf. So same sort of questions. First of all, let's get your reflections on race 1, and you got a second place finish here today, which. From your interview, that this is now you're tied for your best finish. Is that right? Yeah. Here? Yeah. So 2 second place finishes. So let's hear a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, I'm very happy. I was able to overtake Blakely. My mindset was to finish in the podium first of all, and so I had the opportunity to overtake him, and I just kept my mind and my mindset clear. Try to keep everybody behind. I want to fight for that third place in the championship, which I think based out of the last few races, I'm close to that, which is my mindset, securing that third place. And I feel very happy. I found more pace, so I found about a second faster of my best time, and I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with it.
Excellent. So this is your you've had 1 full season out here, and now you're 5 races into your second season. So let's talk about the sort of the lessons that you've learned thus far and how those lessons have impacted you. So now that you're on the podium twice.
My racecraft, I have evolved in my racecraft. I have matured a lot, understanding the different angles of the track, the different places where I can overtake, where I can attack, when I can take risk, where I can't take risk. I learned a lot from my contenders, identifying their weaknesses and taking advantage of that. In this case, taking advantage of free real estate. In this case, I was able to take advantage of that and inherit second position and pull away and create a gap. And throughout this time racing here, I think that I have evolved and I have adapted a better racecraft and a more clear, calm mindset to just stay focused and finish the race and gain podiums, which is the best.
Yeah, and I during your interview also, I've reflected upon the fact that you said F1 is sort of a gentleman's. We're going to race fast, we're going to race close, but we're not going to touch. And do you find that's the level of competition out here very similar to F1 in that regard, or is it? Do you have some of those moments where there's a lot of rubbing?
Well, so far I have had a very close wheel racing with a couple of the contenders. I haven't had any contact yet, which I actually appreciate that. And my personal experience, answering your questions, yeah, I have I have a very good will-to-wheel racing, and so far people are actually respectful. I've seen contact on contenders in front of me, but not with me personally. And I actually, that for me is very thrilling and very exciting, because there's nothing better than going fast and having somebody attacking you wheel to wheel. You're seeing that fender, or you're seeing that helmet beside you, or the mirror, and that's the most fulfilling sensation coming out of a turn when you actually being attacked, especially when you have two people, one on the right side, one on the left side.
For sure, for sure. So we've got one more race today, a chance for the Wolf to take that #1 spot, and so we're going to be looking forward to that. But since we have a little time, I did want to give you the opportunity to shout out to anybody that you'd like to out here today that's watching or that's come here to support you.
I want to thank my parents. They finally made it onto the first race. I'm very excited for that. My friends at home, they're actually watching me right now. My cousins are also watching me right now. And all the people that support me through Instagram and Facebook, I mean, really, really, really appreciate that. And all of you that know me and are following me, you had to come to Atlanta Motorsport Park, Primal Racing School, and get into this, because there's nothing better than this. You'll enjoy it.
Excellent. Jose, congratulations. Can't wait to see you next race. And go have some fun with your parents here. Enjoy the break. All right. All right, I'm going to send it back up to you folks up in the booth. We've got Will and Steven up there. And thanks to my cameraman out here doing a great job during these interviews. And if you want to just take a look around here for everybody at home, the Aero Racing Group, if you want to pan the camera over there, you can see you got the Aston Martin here. What a really great environment this is to just come out on a Saturday. And, you know, as Jose was mentioning, just if you're watching at home, get yourself up here to Atlanta Motorsports Park. It's definitely an experience like no other, really. And then while you're here, you know, even if you've never raced before, you can head over to the kart track and 55+ mile an hour karts over there, and of course lots of exciting events out here. So I'm gonna send it upstairs with that, and we've got more racing coming at you very, very soon.
You know, Chris, I think anyone that's been across the bench from you in court would say you are probably the Wolf as well. That'd probably be your nickname. But you know, up here in the booth,
appreciate that.
Up here in the booth, I just, you know, if you don't have a nickname, we're just gonna start giving them out. You know, I was up here looking at Evan's long hair, and all I could think of was remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans?
Sunshine.
Oh God. Oh man, that's a great movie.
So be careful. Don't let me know you don't have a nickname. Cause
he's gonna show up in like a week or two, and he's gonna be shaved head like he was in the movie. I don't know. I don't think his hair changes
when you're leading the series, you can do whatever you want. And to be honest, I'm slightly jealous because when I started working here, I grew my hair out.
I remember that.
I had never had long hair ever in my life. I went to Catholic school, always had to have it, cut, clean shave, and all that. And I got here, I saw that the GM of the kart track had dreadlocks, and that they weren't that strict on the uniform code at the time. So
oh yeah, back then
I
were lawless.
Immediately fired my hairdresser and stopped cutting my hair.
Yeah.
And that was the best 2.5 years of my life. You talk to my wife, she'll say the exact opposite. I think she was just jealous because of how beautiful my hair was.
It kind of reminds me, my beard would be like, mid-chest at this point if I just kept letting it grow.
And Mikey's over here shaking his head as well because he actually did the same thing. Right after I cut my hair off, he then grew his out. So I think that's just like a midlife crisis thing that we all go through where we got to just grow it out, see what it looks like.
I mean,
have you done it yet, Steve?
I have grown my hair out, yes. It was long at one point in time.
I want to see Steve at 30 with shoulder-length hair.
Okay, all right.
Like, you'd be a big, beautiful, red-headed monstrosity.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Be the
beard. I'm just gonna completely adapt my.
We start calling you Redbeard.
Billy Gibbons or something.
Pirate. I want to see Pirate Steve.
I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
So right now we are about 8 minutes to go from the start of this next race. So we're actually going to take a quick break up here in the booth. Go run and take a tinkle real quick and, check my air pressure and make sure we're good to go before race number 2. So don't go anywhere, folks. We are about 8 minutes out from the start of race number 2, Downforce. It'll be a 20-minute sprint race, and then we will crown our winners for the day. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, attention all drivers, all drivers. We are 2 minutes till grid, 2 minutes. So make sure you are in your cars and ready to go. We are 2 minutes to grid. And we are back underway here. Drivers are getting gridded up and ready to go for our second 20-minute sprint race today. So we've already got the podium set for race number 1, and now we are looking to set the podiums for race number 2. And going to be some interesting dynamics out here today on track. Greg Folger having those 2 spins. He was our pole sitter, was leading most of that race up until the first spin. I want to say that was around the 15-minute mark.
Let's see.
Or was that the 12-minute mark?
His first spin, let's see, I got it written down here.
It was about halfway. I thought we were just over halfway.
Yeah, just over halfway at at lap 11 and turn 12. He spun. Here's
the replay. And so that right there put him to the back of the grid. It took him almost over half a lap to get that thing fired back up.
And then again here at the end.
And then as he was trying to claw back at whatever positions he could get, and this was with, I think, 1 lap to go, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, they just threw the white flag.
And so tough break for him. And Chris, he said it was tires. Did he give any reason? Just a hot, greasy? So I heard you down there talking to him. I was in the bathroom. The headset works.
Yeah. So my impression about what he said is that he knew that Chris was getting some good lines, and so he was trying to shake.
He was pushing it.
Yeah, he says he knew Chris that was doing a better job of getting up that hill than he was, so he was just trying to get a little extra distance between the two of them and clip the corner. The second time, I don't know, but from that replay, it looked like he sensed that he was about to go 3 wide in the turn, and so he braked it. But that's just my impressions of it.
Well, hopefully he has picked up on where his mistakes were, because it's going to be interesting to watch him claw through all this traffic. Now, this is going to give Chris the advantage of having clean track at the start of this race, and he's really, Greg's biggest friend right now is going to be David Mason, keeping the pressure on Chris to give him enough time to dart through all the SR1s that are separating him from the leaders.
Yeah, I definitely saw a very determined Greg Folger. I anticipate you're going to see him really claw up quickly. He doesn't. I could sense he did not like finishing where he did in that race.
And we also have word as well on the condition of Blakely Fabiani's car, and he actually was having some brake problems. So that was what sidelined his race early, and I have also gotten confirmation that he is going to start this race, but he is going to park it immediately. So he will get a lap in, get his points.
I see the points. Gotcha.
So
is he going to fall all the way to the rear?
He should be at the very back.
Yeah, he was. Because he was.
He went out like lap 3, I think.
Lap 3 or lap 4.
So on that note,
yeah,
guys,
lap 3.
My being less familiar with the season and the point standing and all that. So this is race 5 in the series.
Race 5 out of 7, and each race day has 2 points races.
And with a maximum number of how many points per race?
So the way we score it is first place gets 100, second place gets 90, third place gets 80, and so on.
It's different up here than as a kart track.
And kart track,
it's 250, I think, for first.
Yeah, they've got a weird way they do it.
They're structured off of WK, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
And we are structured off of WILL.
Will, yes.
Up here.
Now, I know that there are penalties in terms of time in a race. Are there penalties for points in a race as well?
Yes and no. Depends on what the situation is.
Usually, if you get a penalty bad enough that it's going to be taking away season points, you're probably not racing with us for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I see.
Because this is very much gentleman driving out here. This is not short course, fists getting thrown in the paddocks.
Hey, now.
If that kind of behavior, and we have seen it at the kart track, because tempers do flare.
For sure.
And they get asked to take the rest of the year off. And we take it very serious here. It's racing. You leave it on the track.
Yeah, Jose, of course, during my interview, I wanted to follow up on something he said about this being gentleman's racing out here, and whether or not that was what he was seeing on the track through this season as well. And he definitely said, yeah, lots of nice wheel-to-wheel racing.
We made a lot of changes at the start of this season specifically to confront some of the wheel-to-wheel contact issues we have had. Now, it's not been like the Wild West or anything out here, but as drivers have been getting aggressive, we had those Pragas last season, and they were just kind of shaking it up with everybody and creating some situations that, I don't want to say it's making people uncomfortable, but it was putting people in situations that they didn't need to be in. And so we came back with some tougher rules for contact this season, and the main one being is everybody's got to run footage. If you don't have a camera running and you hit somebody and the other driver produces footage, doesn't matter if it's clear as day that he hit you, you're still at fault, because we want everybody to be running footage to make sure that they know that they're being watched, and that if there is a protest, they have to have footage, or there is, what's it in law? No video, no case, or no
quid pro quo. Is that what it is? I don't know.
But we call it SOL. That's a legal acronym.
I think Nikki calls it no face, no case. But back to our rapper references.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, anyways, the whole point is just to keep everybody safe, because at the end of the day, what'll kill a race series is somebody shows up, wrecks their car, and then they don't come back. And then the word will start spreading that these guys don't run a good series. And our main goal here is this is supposed to be a learning track. This is going to be where you get your experience, where you get good at racing, and then you leave here and you go off and race another series. And we want our drivers to be known for how well, how clean, and how good they drive.
Excellent. Well, on that note, so as a newcomer here and someone on the fence about, hey, I wonder if this is something I might think about getting into. So, and Stephen, you mentioned earlier some rental cars out here. Some SR1s are rentals. So before this race goes green, well, maybe later in the segment you can talk about how folks can get involved.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about the SR1 Radical Rentals, but right now we are waiting for that grid. Here they come. Chris Hune, David Mason on the front row leading this pack of Radicals to the start, and there we are, green flag, green, and just like that, we're already off to 4 wide as the field starts to shake up. Chris Hune sends it hard into turn 1, comes out clean. Look at that, still 3 wide coming out.
A little bit of bobble for the car in
and
third
look
place.
At Greg Folger,
as
coming
predicted.
from the rear.
3 for 1 right there on that turn, getting around Hank Pate. That looks like William Layton.
Oh man, that was a beautiful
Banks
shot.
Inside. Look at that. And he passed 4 cars there from turn 1 to turn 3.
Chris Hune better get on it.
He has
Folger
got no
is
time.
Folger's coming with fury this time.
He is on a mission.
He's already up 5 positions.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
not again.
The curse.
Not again. The 29.
As we are talking about it, we just need to shut up when he's on screen.
You know what? He didn't have a nickname going into race 5. So
Spinner.
Wait, I don't know, but let's see what he does. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see how
Comeback
he finishes.
Kid. How about Comeback Kid?
Oh, and he has got to be kicking himself right now.
He made slight contact with another driver. Let's see if we can get a quick look back at that.
If we've got that on replay or not. And right now we are
yeah,
waiting. Here it is.
yeah,
Let's
we do.
see.
See if he makes contact. I think it was a little bit of a checkup. No, he misses both cars.
Just barely. I think that's what it was he was trail braking and then had to hit it just a little bit harder.
No, he did make slight contact. I don't know what car that is. This is what, the 5th car in line?
That's just behind Henry Banks.
Is that Jose Aviles? Possible?
Possible. Yeah. 92, maybe?
Yeah, that would be Jose.
And hopefully his car is all right because he is.
Yep, just a slight little nudge, and he didn't even notice it.
Yeah, no, that I don't think that took anything away from Jose.
And also apologize to Jose's family again for like the 15,000th time.
Avelas. For the first 3 races, I was calling him Alvarez.
Alvarez. I said Alvarez. It's Avelas.
And I did that. I am sorry. Just like Alyssa Vascocu. Back at Kart Track.
No, we did that for years.
Well, that's how it was spelled on the screen. It's on the
nobody
teleprompter.
Nobody told us.
I will read it how it's written until you come up and correct me.
Yes.
And Jose said, Will, you realize you're not even pronouncing it how it's spelled. And I
looked back at the sheet and went, oh.
Oh, and then I still did it for another race.
Yeah.
It's taking me
this is the
a minute.
Second or third race in a row that we've actually had to sit here and correct ourselves.
But speaking of Jose, he is a good example. And back to what Chris was talking about during the race start here. He came up through the rental program. He's doing the race day rentals. And if you were watching this at home and you were thinking, man, how could I get into racing? Sign up for the 3-day primal school. It is not as hard as you think to get into racing.
Ooh, the 97 bobbled really hard. The 92. We need to stop talking. That's Jose.
Yeah. Oh, curse of the announcer. Here we are.
This is the third, fourth time today.
But look at that.
Nice recovery, though.
Yeah,
Greg
but that's going to let.
Look at Greg all the way up to 3rd.
And on a mission. Look at that. He's only 2 seconds back from Chris right now.
How far did he fall back from that initial spin?
Not far enough. Because
he was at least 4 or 5 positions.
Yeah, but he started moving pretty quickly. And
could you imagine the storyline on this? He comes back and wins it from spinning in the pre-final.
He'll definitely have a better nickname than if he doesn't.
Closer. We'll call him Mariano Rivera. There we go. Big shout out to my Yankees fans. Yankees.
But going back to the rental program and how you can actually get into racing here, you sign up for the 3-day school and you can be an absolute novice. And you can come in here. They'll work with you on hand, foot control, how to get the cars in gear, how to get them rolling, because these cars are all manuals. They all have clutches. They're 3-pedal cars. Now, once you're in gear and you're rolling, it's on a hydraulic or on a pneumatic shifter. So all you do is you just pull the paddle and it shifts. So you don't have to worry about shifting once you're in gear. But I can tell you, starting, especially these little British cars, the pedals are way too close together. And if you got big fat feet like me, it is definitely
Another hard break and a crossover.
Ooh, and that's Leighton. Ooh.
The 97 is very, very loose.
And who is that behind? That's William Banks in ahead. And that, I believe that is Evan Lowry right now.
Yeah, the 97 was very, very loose coming through the start-finish line all the way into turn 1. Bobbled it really hard, but did recover nicely. And now he's battling up there. I can't tell the number currently.
Well, that's Henry Banks in front of him.
Oh, look at that pass.
Oh,
and he stuck it.
Oh, he shoved it into turn 6.
He stuck it. I'm not sure who that was. Was that William Leighton?
No, Leighton's in the back there with the orange helmet. So that was either
Gavin
Velez or Patet, yeah.
Man, this race is already heating up. We're only a couple laps in, 4 laps in.
Well, I'll finish real quick because we would go back to watching the race. But the school, you take the school, you finish the school. If they're comfortable with you, they will give you a sign-off, and you'll actually get your provisional racing license. And then you can come here on one of our race days under that provisional license and do a race rental. And once you get 2 races under your provisional, you will then have your full novice SCCA racing license.
And where can you find out about rates for the school and what it costs to rent an SR1 out on race day?
So you could get all the info.
Whoa! And he saves it again.
He is breaking that thing super hard coming in.
It looks like the 97 on the Ford Gavin Patet.
And Leighton got squirrely, managed to keep it underway.
This is going to be the hottest contest of the day
this
between 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
And
These guys are
look, just behind them, you've got Greg Folger.
Yeah, Gavin Poteet, number 4 there, getting all sorts of squirrely. But
So-
they're managing to keep it right on the track, which is amazing.
So if you'd like to learn more, primal.racing or primalracing.com. Those are 2 websites you can go to. They both take you to the same place. You can also find out more on our site at atlantamotorsportspark.com. So if you can't remember Primal Racing, just go to our website, and we will link you out to them if you look under academies and race schools. Great way to get started in racing and to get your actual novice SCCA racing license. And then you
look
can
at
do
there's
this
another
on the
bobble
road.
right there. I know I keep interrupting, but
you're all good.
everything keeps happening.
And, Primal Racing is a full radical dealer. Hey, look at Greg Folger going to the inside.
Man,
he's going to
I
get
don't
2
know
of
if
them. Maybe he's going to get 3 here through turn 14. Look at that.
I don't think you're going to finish off your sentence.
No.
There's too much happening.
2 for 1 special. I'm trying
Here
to get
comes
Primal.
Greg. He's going for a 3rd one.
He's
There it
going.
is, right at the
Let's
start-finish line. Let's see.
Inside,
there it
outside,
is.
yep.
Greg Folger on a mission.
The catch me outside.
Let's
How
see.
about that?
No spins. No spins,
Hey,
Greg.
he
You
keeps
got it.
clean.
All right. Look out, Chris Hune up there at number 1 and
You
David
just saw,
Mason.
You just saw Chris Hune go by entering turn 6 as they're entering the carousel, so there's not that much separation between those 2 drivers.
So that was William Leighton that he just got around.
7:37 into this race, so
He's still
lots
got
of
a
time.
few positions to go. He's got Will Franklin, Jose Avelez, and his oh no, that's him, Greg. I was saying Pete's behind him right now. So,
oh, is he going to save it?
No!
That's
that
what
Poteet?
that's
No,
the
no, that's
90
the
of
90.
William Leighton.
that's Will Leighton getting around. And I think Henry Banks' transponder is not working because that is definitely his orange helmet that is at the head of that pack.
Is that Greg making another
Yes.
pass?
And that is Greg. That's Will Franklin he's getting around right now.
Oh, yeah.
So that was Leighton that spun in turn 6.
Or did he
Didn't
get?
look like any contact was made
No.
there.
I think he just got around Evan Lowry, didn't he? No, Greg.
No, that was Will Franklin.
Gotcha.
This has been one of the hottest contested races of the year so far.
Oh, yeah.
We've got, what, 2 more races to go after this?
I know. And we're not even halfway through this race, so we've got action aplenty right now. An awesome crane shot there from FPV pilot Daryl Cannon.
Definitely not your, your Sunday drive, as it's sometimes described. This one is
A Saturday drive.
hotly contested race here
in just about every slot.
And that is, I believe that is Franklin and Layton right now that we're watching on screen.
We're seeing a slight bobble from the car in front. I believe that's Franklin's up front. Bobbling ever so slightly come to the carousel.
And we'll have to get a number when they come by. But, yeah, he is currently holding them off right now pretty well. And then ahead of him is Jose Avelas. So that was Avelas that Folger got around that last time that we were watching. But he's going to have a little bit of a gap to make up before he catches up to Lowry. Got about a second and a half to make up there. And then he's still got another 2 seconds from there to catch up to Chris.
You know, he's going to have to be moving it.
Well, that's going to be a hard task, too, when Chris just setting the fastest lap of the race that last time by with a 120.661.
2 whole seconds faster than second
they're
place.
Starting to get down towards qualifying times.
I mean, it's just a miracle with as many spins and incidents that Greg's had.
He's up to third already.
Yeah,
he's second. He's in second. He just crossed the line in second.
There we go.
I think that's a scoring issue. I don't think he's up there yet. Because we were having this issue last race. I think there's something going on with the tower right now. Because there's David Mason right there, and then there's Greg still hitting the carousel. So he's still got Lowry and Mason ahead of him right now.
So he's sitting 5th overall.
4th.
Okay,
so
4th.
not bad work considering he spun out on lap 1.
Yeah. You are not wrong there.
So I don't know. We call him the hard charger.
Well, he's got, just over 9 minutes.
Ooh.
So we're at the halfway point.
That looks like Hank Pate locking him up a little bit there, coming into 6.
So at half, we got Chris Hune up front. Greg Folger's not in second. So what, David Mason in second?
Yeah, David Mason's in second.
Evan Lowry, Greg Folger, and then William Layton.
So right now you've got Chris Hune, Chris Hune, David Mason, and Greg Folger running 1, 2, 3 for SR3. You've got Evan Lowry, Will Layton, and Jose Avelas running 1, 2, 3 for SR1. And that's the beauty of multi-class racing. We don't ever really know who's in the lead until the end.
That's why I'm sitting here taking notes. I haven't really notebooked my notebook this year, if that makes sense. But we're filling it up for this race. I've already got 2 whole pages of info.
You're going to have plenty to write about. You're probably going to end up charging me extra for this one.
$15.
Yeah, so there goes Mason up the hill.
And there's Pate.
Through the 6.
And then there's Henry Banks right there.
There we are. That's Greg Folger. Let's see.
He is charging his way up right now, although still not on pace to beat David Mason. David Mason actually turned a faster lap that last time by. So he actually hit his fastest lap of the race, too, almost a full second faster than Greg Folger.
If I remember correctly, Hune has got to win this race to stay in the points battle, correct?
Yes. And he's pretty much got to win every race because he had that one off week. So
and the drop.
Well, no, that ate up his drop.
Oh, it did.
That was his drop week.
Oh, yeah, because it's 2 races.
Mm-hmm.
During, I think it may have been either qualifying or the first race, Will, you mentioned something about the difference between Greg and Chris being he's got consistency, and we're seeing that with these 120s and 121s this whole race.
But Greg's got the ability when he is dialed in, when he is focused, he can just knife that thing in there, and he can make a gap up like you wouldn't believe. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Did you just see what I saw? Did you see that little spark coming down when he downshifted coming into turn 1?
Yeah.
Got a little bit of a sparky spark.
And I would not be surprised. So when that weight is shifting in that car, especially in a heavy braking zone going downhill.
Yeah, you mentioned Greg being, I guess, the more aggressive of the 2 drivers. The comparison with Chris and Greg. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing here in the last 6.5 minutes here if Greg gets a little closer up there.
Well, not to discriminate by age, but I'm pretty sure Chris has got at least a decade or 2 more experience in being patient. And Greg is he's the young hotshot right now out here, and completely cleaned up the class last year in SR1 and trying to do the same thing again this year in SR3. But he's got a big mountain ahead of him, and that's Chris Hune, because Chris is one of our fiercest competitors out here in the SR3 division. And so he's, doing the best he can to obviously make up for that drop week. And that, to be honest, that's the only what's given Greg really a fighting chance right now. And to be honest, even with his spins and with everything that happened today with Greg, he's going to be scored with two, I believe, fourth place and a third place, so he's not going to lose that many points to Chris. And again, if Greg is in every race this season, these will be his drop races.
Yeah, one name we're missing on the sheet there, but I see him outside with other members, and that being Jack Rambo, out in observing the race. Always good to see him out here. What a great! I'd love to have a driver interview with Jack Rambo.
And here's the rundown right now on finishes and starts for these guys. So week 1 was when Chris was not here. That was when he was on his China trip. David Mason actually took both wins for week 1. So David was first, Greg was second. Week 2, it was Greg first, David second, Chris third. That's the way they finished both their races. Actually, Chris took second in the second race that day. Race number 3, Chris had a first and a third. Greg had a third and a first, and David had 2 second-place victories. So these guys are really going back and forth. And then last week, when we obviously didn't score race number 1 because it didn't get enough laps before we had to call it. And race number 2 was David in second, Greg in first, I'm getting this ball backwards. Sorry. Greg was first, Chris was second, and David was third. So really, it is a 3-way heat right now. And, the big thing is Greg and David both have the advantage because they haven't used their drop races yet.
Currently, we're watching the Will and Will show. That's William Layton and Will Franklin going at it back and forth, swapping positions. They are currently running 7th and 8th. That's what, 3rd and 4th?
In class?
In class for the SR1 Radicals. This is a battle for the podium position.
Yeah, right now Lowry is off by himself. He has got a almost 1.2 second advantage over Jose Avelez. And then behind Avelez is Potet and Layton. So should be a 3-car battle from what I'm seeing on the scoring screen. And that actually might
Folger is catching the field.
That might actually be Henry Banks.
That he's battling with?
Yes, because his transponder's not been picking up properly all day.
That might. I thought it was the 03 that I saw. Maybe my color blindness is telling me different.
But yeah, he just passed the line. I didn't see anything blink.
There he goes. It blinked that time. A little delayed. I think our scoring tower might be a little off because it's the 90 and the 91 and the 03. So that's Henry Banks and William Layton, or Will Franklin. I'm sorry. That's Banks and Franklin that are battling out, not the.
Yeah, and Banks is ahead of him, and not scored is ahead of him. So that's. Yeah, I think he's just not been reading right. So this is for 8th and 9th place overall. And for in class, this is for 4th and 5th is what we're watching right now.
Ooh, and he tried to go in the inside, and he got blocked off right there.
And that looks like Layton and Hank, because I don't think Hank's picking up well either.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He keeps thinking about going to the inside in some of these tighter corners and outside too. He's bobbing back and forth. He doesn't know where he wants to go.
And the time is running down right now on this race.
And we should be seeing the white flag displayed in just
Chris
a minute.
is getting his outside gear on.
Did you see the hawk that came into shot with the drone?
Hopefully it didn't hit the drone.
No, but that was a cool shot.
They'll start circling the drone.
That was a cool shot. Like the hawk was coming in, the cars were coming in. It just cinematic beautifulness.
Yeah, there's yeah. How about you pass that by him, Chris, and we'll see how he takes it.
He's
yeah.
on the hunt.
He is. Well, he's already hunted himself a podium spot after
Was
that
that make
spin.
Hoon the rat or the mouse?
No, I think let's say King of the Hill for Chris Hoon. Well, because he's from Chicago, so he's the boss. He's the mob boss.
Oh. White flag is out. Can't talk that much about, certain things.
Yeah, we are
Gabagoo and whatnot.
and we are on our final lap of this contest. Greg Folger just going by, Evan Lowry just behind him. Yeah, so Greg is up to third overall, even though it shows him at second on the scoring screen. And there goes Jose and Gavin across the stripe. Here comes, this looks like Layton. Nope, that was Henry Banks, Wolf Franklin, Pete Folger. And then William Layton.
Let's see how this heats up in this pack of three right here. Checkers are out, and that's Chris Hoon taking the victory in the SR3 first overall.
Yeah, by a mile, too. Look at that. It had nobody in his rearview mirror as he took those checkered flags. That's kind of what you see in an endurance race, not a 20-minute sprint race.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Ledecky doing the 1500. And
what
there
was that
goes
final gap right there?
David Mason.
The whole second gap.
Well, my scoring screen.
Yeah, mine's messed up. So
it
I don't
says
know.
0.6. Ain't no way. That was like at least 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the loop got struck by lightning last night.
Possibly. A little delayed.
Well, I came in today and they're like, Will, the scoring system's not working. And I was like, have you checked the Wi-Fi?
Did you try turning it on and turning it back on?
Oh, okay, that fixed it.
Will Regden, executive producer and IT man.
Yeah, IT extraordinaire. No, it's a common thing because we've got multiple networks here. So if the computer logs on to the members network or a different network, it's not going to see the scoring loop. And here comes last handful of drivers as Will Franklin, Henry Banks, and Pete Folger taking the line. There goes Layton. And I believe that was Hank Pate. And that should be it. Those are all the cars still left on the field that have taken the checkered flag. I know Chris Conwall is heading his way down to victory lane to see if we can get a word with our winners. And there is one of them, Chris Hoon, making his way onto pit road right now. He definitely needed this today.
Yeah, I mean, he had two race drops.
This is going to put it in a dead heat between him, David, and Greg.
So what was that points overview? Let's give our listeners that one more go since we've got a second to wait until he hops out of the car.
Yeah, let me, because I could probably just go ahead and I probably shouldn't be filling out the points while we're on the fly right now, but
yeah,
because this is the master spreadsheet and these results are not official yet. But so,
oh boy,
yeah. So
this is unofficial. This is
yeah,
the unofficial results. Until timing and scoring gives us the actual score.
Well, that puts Chris with 3 first-place wins, 2 second place, and 2 third place. And so Greg has got 4. Greg has 4 first-place wins. Looks like 2 second place and 2 thirds after this one. And then David has 2 first place, 3 second place, well now 4 second place after today, and 1 third place.
So it's 2 wins for David. 2 second place finishes for David as well? Did I write that down correctly?
4 actually
4, okay.
after today. Because he took second in both races. So actually that's 4 and 5. And then he's got 3 third place. Or 2 third place. Yeah, however that maths out. Anyways, it's going to be pretty close between all of them.
Man, I filled up 2 sheets of paper.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot to write about here.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long article. And if you want to read that article, go to libertyracing.review.com.
Yeah, check it
Follow
out.
us on all of our socials. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter or X, that it's now known as. I'm still not used to that.
Yeah,
We don't have.
follow me on X.
Yeah, follow me on X.
Excuse me.
You know, Will, I think we have enough time. I think we can go back to kart track, and me and you can.
Yeah.
go
Well,
kart
speaking
racing.
of karting, if you are into karting, we are actually doing some night karting tonight. That will be open again. It'll be walk-ins. I believe you can make reservations up until 7:30, but we will be open past that time till 11 o'clock
You know,
tonight.
last time that was a massive success. I mean, it was the first time we ever done it. From all the pictures that I saw, there was a line all the way out to the second garage building.
Yes, there it was practically down to the paddock, and
That's absolutely crazy.
yes, and we probably should do reservations from now on
Yeah.
back there because that was wild. And speaking of wild, we've got our winners down there, Chris. And Chris, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So they were saying you had to have the win today, and you did not disappoint. You got 2 first-place podiums. So I think they were trying to put their heads together on the math to see what the points are. But maybe you can remind us what your finishes have been this season. But that's 2 wins for today.
I think I'm still behind. I don't know exactly how many wins I got, but Greg's got more. So I got to keep going.
Well, after you, this was a decided win for you, and putting up some great times. There was a 120 in there. I think the last race you had a 119, so you're dialed in. And so we've got 2 more races on the season, and so look out for Chris Hune, who's
I got to keep my parking spot, because you get a parking spot here if you win the series. So that's all. It's all what I really want.
Yeah. Well, you can't say too much about great parking in life, right?
That's right.
So when you win the series, though, you get cups out here for each individual wins. What about if you win the whole series? What's the championship cup like, and do you have that adorned at your house somewhere?
It's pretty massive.
It's an even bigger cup.
It's a big cup.
He did more than his cup.
It got its own seat in the car on the way home, so
And so, is that one of the cups that once you're awarded, it's yours for life, or is it like the coveted Lombardi, where it has to go to the season winner each year? Will, maybe you can weigh in on that.
That would be a good idea, but I don't think it's that. But.
Yeah, no, the only traveling that cup did was back to Chris's house.
By plane,
Back
of
to
course,
back.
right?
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Excellent. Great day for flying. Great day for racing. Congratulations to you on your win. You got your lovely wife here in support, and so we'll see you at the podiums here in just a little bit. Congratulations. You said you had folks watching at home, so any shout-outs to some grands you want to say?
Yeah. Shout out to all the grandkids, Brian, Brooke, our son, daughter, the in-laws, my parents, my mom, my brother. Everybody, who's watching.
And everybody back in Chicago, is that where you hail from?
Well, we're in Champaign, Illinois, and we got kids in Colorado and family in Florida, and we're kind of scattered. So,
well, congratulations to all the Hune supporters, because you're our winner. We'll see you on the podium.
all right, thank you.
You betcha. All right, let's see if we catch up with Greg Folger here. Hey, Greg, you mind if we get a word with you? I'm going to tell you. Let's see if these are working for you. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think that I've given you a nickname. You can use it for now until a better one emerges. But we had a hawk fly into screen there, and what I saw at the beginning of that race, man, you were in the hunt. I mean, at one point you went around 3 or 4 cars, and so tell us about your mindset. You were definitely very determined.
Yeah, I felt like I had a pretty good start, starting in 10th, obviously, and where you want to start after the 2 spins in race number 1. But felt like I said, gained 4 or 5 spots into turn 1, grabbed a couple more into turn 4. So coming into 6, I think I was maybe 4th or 5th. And so I could see David and Chris, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is my shot. So I think I was in 4th, and folks were staying off the concrete going into 6. It's pretty slick. So I was all the way to the left, and the threes can outbrake the ones by a little bit, but they are a little heavier, so you need every bit of that braking distance. And it looked like one of the ones kind of came over in front of me, and so as I dipped off into the grass to avoid hitting a school car, slick tires don't like that, so made another little spin, so then hunted my way back up from last place, I'm pretty sure, and then I think I finished P3 overall. So it was fun kind of going through track, but it was just a tough weekend. Got some flat spotted tires, but luckily no damage to the car. So congrats to Chris and David. They both ran 2 great races.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, though, a sort of a byproduct of today for you, and you do get a drop, though, is you guys are so tight. You're going to be really tight going to the points. You got 2 more races in the series, and, of course, do you get a parking spot for being the SR1 champ for last year? Because Chris was mentioning he got a parking spot for SR3 champion, so maybe that's the coveted win here.
So my dad was actually the champion in SR1 last year. So there is a Pete Folger parking spot up front. Him and Chris. That race won today, being in first place, that would have been a big one in the point standing because I've not used any drops. That would have been, believe in the 5th or 6th overall race one I had done this year, and that would have bought me a lot of comfort going in, especially with Chris missing the first 2 going to China. That would have, relieved some stress. But after this weekend, that was essentially my trip to China.
Yes.
So it looks like Chris and I are probably pretty close. I know David's right there with us as well. So it's going to be a fun last 2 races, that's for sure.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing the next race out here and get dialed in because let me tell you, it was an exciting day, one of the most exciting days we've had out here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. So thanks to you. I know especially some of that excitement, not any that you care to repeat, but still. So I'm going to pass the mic back over to you. Got a lot of folks watching you back home you want to say a shout out to?
Yeah, like I said, just families here supporting us. So many great people out here. It's a great track, great facility, great family environment. We're all a bunch of friends out here, so this was just another great weekend. Not great result for me on the racetrack, but had a ball doing it. Pretty fatigued now, so going to go and hang out, maybe go jump in the pool for a bit. Thank you.
You betcha. Congratulations, our SR1 winner. I'm looking for his telltale. There he is, right over there. Hey, Evan, can you come on over there? We're going to get a quick word with you. And so let me begin by saying congratulations on back-to-back race wins and quite a bit of action there at the beginning of that one, and then you were able to find quite a bit of real estate there toward the end. So let's hear your reflections on that.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race start. I was on the inside. I knew I could pull away a lot easier if I stuck behind one of the SR3s, get a kind of a good slipstream up into turn 2, and then kind of just pull away. But it didn't go exactly as planned because going into turn 1, I kind of got bumped in my rear right and it unsettled the car, but I managed to keep it going, and ultimately I got a good run ahead, so I didn't have to worry about the slipstream and everything. But from then on, just kind of pulled away, and then I think my goal for me was to try and be as consistent enough to at least stay in front of Greg, but he eventually caught up to me, and I kind of gave up and let him by towards the end on the last lap. But yeah, ultimately just a really good race for me.
Yeah, and so let's talk about your point standing again one more time for those watching at home. Where do you sit in the points?
I still haven't checked yet, but I might be ahead now. I think Blakely didn't have a great race, which is unfortunate, but ultimately it benefits me as much as it's hard to say, but ultimately I think I might be in the lead now.
Excellent. Well, listen, as someone who am thinking about coming out here, going through the primal school and racing as well, this is your first. This is your second season here at AMP doing the primal. So, what can you say to the folks sitting at home thinking, I might want to get involved with that?
Definitely do it. Tyler's a great teacher, great coach, surrounded by a bunch of great people, help you through everything. It's perfect, and it's pretty affordable for renting and everything. It's amazing. I'm so happy I get to be here and do this.
Excellent. Well, there you go, folks. And I'm going to pass it to you to any last shout-outs, and then we're going to let you get cooled off.
Shout out to my family, my friends, and everyone who supports me along the way, and obviously all the guys at Primal for helping make everything just so smooth and easy.
Excellent. Well, congratulations to you, Evan Lowry, our winner, SR1. I'm going to send it back up to the booth, guys. Great job today, great broadcast, and we'll see you guys at the podiums.
And to answer your question, Chris, that was definitely a must-win race for Evan Lowry, so to keep him in points contention for the season. So it is pretty much going to be a dead heat between him and Blakely Fabiani in the SR1 division. But that is going to do it for us here up in the booth today at Atlanta Motorsports Park. We are going to be taking a little bit of a break from the main track coverage because we are doubled up next month. We've got a big go-kart race and round number 6 of the Downforce Miata series. And so we are actually going to be set up at the kart track on that day. So we will have a little bit of coverage. We'll fly the drones over here and give people updates on what's going on. But primarily the crew will be back at the kart track. And we will be, for myself and Steve, we will be at Caffeine and Octane tomorrow at Town Center Mall. So if you haven't had enough of us today and you want to get some more, come hang out with us. Come hang out with us at Town Center.
If you want some more of me tonight, I'll be at North Georgia Speedway in Chatsworth.
Yeah, if you want some alcoholic coffee, come find Steve.
Not at the racetrack. No.
It'll be in his boot.
I keep it in my boot.
But
no, I work to keep it professional.
We will be back out here at the racetrack, though, on August 24th. We will be here for the round number, I believe it's round number 8 in the summer series, the karting championship series. Actually, it's round 7, and it's going to be the 3rd round of the GKC, Georgia Karting Championship Series, in alignment with our AMP kart racing series. So last time we had this, we had our biggest crowd ever, had 171 drivers out here at the kart track. So expect to see big numbers here later this month on August 24th. And prior to that, we are also going to have the big Amped Up event on August 17th. So make sure you get signed up for that, getamped.org. And then on Sunday, August 18th, after the Amped Up event, we're going to have our Downforce, not our Downforce, I'm getting everything confused now. We're going to have our AXS Autocross series. So we'll be out here competing in autocross that weekend. So that'll be a fun weekend of motorsports. But for myself, Will Rigdon up here in the booth, Stephen Newbold, you got anything you want to say real quick before we sign this off?
No, actually, I don't have anything to say, which is a little unusual. I'm sitting here trying to multitask.
Where are the drinks?
No. I've had a Coke. I'm good. Actually, where's the food?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, good.
Yeah, reminder, all the drivers, we do have food up here in the showroom for you guys, so make sure once we get done with podiums, they come up here and get you some sandwiches. But for all of us here, myself, Will Rigdon, Stephen Newbold, Chris Conowall, the entire production team, Michael Lemon Drop Lane, Davey Lemonade Lane, Colby, Chris, everybody here making this work, Race Control, Corner Marshals, we love each and every one of you guys. Without y'all, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this. And so we will see you guys on the next one. So long, everybody.